How's it going, folks? We are going to go ahead and get going. Everything is good to go. I passed out last night when I was writing my Victoria roleplay post for today, so I had to get that done this morning, but came out really good. How's it going, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. What's up? What's up, Ninja? What's up, Cheese? What's up, Hyperius? What's up, Dexter? How y'all doing? What's up, Trucker Nero? We are continuing with the mega campaign today, the episode of which will come tomorrow. I was going to get it out this morning, but as I said, I passed out like at 9 p.m. last night. It was really weird. I woke up at 8 this morning. So that'll be out tomorrow. We left off last time in a really bad place. We haven't had, I would say, a disaster of this magnitude in the mega campaign for a good 100 years. I'd say probably post-Lysandro, maybe Cipriana era was the last time we had something like this. Last time we fought a holy war against Vladimir, who is a Tengri Russia, which is obviously gone more orthodox, but they're still Tengri. I mean, it's the Mongols, right? They conquered it more or less. And as a defender of the faith, as good Catholics, we fought them in Crimea, and initially it went very well. After some losses, we really pushed them back. We were doing great. It looked like we were going to win. And then the war that we are still in happened, where the many remaining states of Anatolia and Greece, primarily Anatolikon, as well as their allies, and oh man, these names. Point being, our allies in Hellas were attacked by a force of around 90,000 men, and we were just unable to deal with them. Their navy cut us off in the Bosphorus, and unable to get any help to our soldiers in Crimea, we lost 60,000 men retreating into Crimea. All of them. They were all gone. So we ended last time right about there. We'd started to recruit more men in North Africa, but I mean, our forces are very minor, and we still are in this war. I'm hoping that Hellas survives. Not only are they one of our allies, they're also of our dynasty. So this was the dynasty we established in Hellas in that holy war in CK3. So I'm really hoping that they survive here. So we will see. It's a really bad position. Generally speaking, we are, if we were attacked by Castille or Britain or anyone like that right now, we would do pretty badly. So we really need to stabilize. We really need to secure our borders, and we need to stabilize our allies. The big thing I said at the end of last session, which I'll say again, is that we need to secure territory in the east. That war showed us that with allies in the east and generally trying to be very powerful in the Mediterranean Black Sea, we just don't have any ports in the east, and that was disastrous for us. So we need to secure land here. I'm thinking we go after probably Crete or Cyprus today, pretty early on, and secure a port there, because we're going to need it to do what I promised, which is that if Hellas survives, we are going to fight wars against the heathen, the Orthodox heathens there, and establish them as the definitive power in the region if they survive. So that's where we're at. What's up, Scepter? Did you get the points from watching VODs, or is the turn of points just from following? From following, I think. I don't know if you get Twitch points from VODs, actually. That's a good question. Do you? Does anyone know that? I don't think so. So, Soapy, good morning. So anyway, that's a little bit of a recap, Cheese. Hope you heard that. As I said, we're in a very bad position, so let's honestly get straight into things. Obviously, we have King Castora. I as usual, named them wrong. It was a woman who I named Castora II. It's Castora. She is a malevolent lawgiver, so I'm just kind of envisioning her as like young female Tywin Lannister. That's the kind of what the picture I've got in my mind of this woman. Hardcore, competent, lawful evil type, you know? She follows the law, but she's fucking evil. So we've got maybe a Lysandro's heir kind of thing going here, which has been fun. She's been very brutal, but seen a lot of defeat as well. Then again, if you remember, Lysandro himself, he suffered a lot of defeats in his early days too. It wasn't until really, I think, the later part of his midlife that things really turned around for him, which is why he was so fun. So, all right, we're just waiting until this war ends, and then we are going to rebuild our military. All right, they're going to go for a naval battle here. Where are the remnants of our navy? I know we have some left. We do. That game's lagging. Let me up the priority real quick. There we go. That should help. If we can knock out a few more ships before this war ends, that would be big. That is their whole navy went in on Hellas there. We got to go quick if we want to get there in time. Oh, come on. No, they're going to run. We're going to get there, though? Maybe? We did. We caught a few of their ships. They're not going to reinforce either. We completely destroyed that fleet. Nice. 9 Galley street transports. Let's go after the Bosphorus too. Nope, they're gonna retreat into port. That's what I figured. Like I said, we really need a naval base in the east so badly. I mean, the naval aspects of this war would have gone so differently if we had that. It really would. They did, Ninja. Yeah, we got teamed up on. It was pretty brutal. Our territory is still pretty good, but our manpower has started to go down quite dramatically. And we can't really even reinforce our armies because I want to keep that little bit. We've got a good 5 to 10 years of just rebuilding before we can begin to try a war with Anatolicon. Yeah. But the good news is the Pope hates them. So when we go to war, we will not be marching alone, which is something to be said, I suppose. And our economy is still pretty good too, so. This is recoverable, but not in a good position. I'd been wanting to fight a war with Castilla, but we're going to have to just completely wait on that, to be honest. Let's go. We are actually not the war leader here, so we're waiting for Hellas to give terms. Even if they have, just like Naxos, they have one island, we can help them rebuild. But it'll take time. Let's go get some more reserves. We'll do 2 more. Nope. Queen Castora. Her parents just couldn't come up with a good name, so they feminized Castora. Absolutely, yes. Take Crete? Yep, Train, that's exactly what I'm thinking too. They're allied with Cyprus and Serbia, so we could take Cyprus into war too. We'll have to fight Serbia, but we're capable of doing that. Now the big thing is, I don't think there's a way for me to get a Casus Belli, right? So we're gonna have to declare a no-war Casus Belli, which will be pretty rough. Not gonna lie. But that's fine. We don't have any aggressive expansion right now, so when we launch that, we'll be alright. We'll have to siege out Serbia, we'll take the islands very quickly, and then we'll be in good shape. Just in case, we'll send the fleet there. You could fabricate one. The issue is that we have no territories that are near them. No possible neighboring provinces to fabricate a claim on is the problem there. So we will not be able to do that. Now, if Hellas gets cut down to like one province, we might be able to offer them subjugation and then do a war through them, maybe, but I doubt it. We're too far, which is the issue here. Train your men? Good points. Absolutely. We have to pay off our loan. We only have 1. Could be much worse. We also, again, have discovered the New World. So all of the European dramas going on as usual, while we do know about the New World and would be very interested in exploring and expanding there. So, a really good example of European affairs getting away in colonial priorities. And I believe we took exploration last session too. Let me look. We did. So we can almost actually start to explore. And then once we're done with that, we will hopefully be able to start to colonize. What are the plans for idea group? So the first one we took was naval, which is why our naval power projection is just so ridiculous right now. And our second one was exploration. After this, we're gonna probably go for I think a bureaucratic one. I'll do a poll for it. I actually may do that poll now. You know what? Let's do that poll now. How about this? For our third idea group, what do y'all think that we should do? What are some idea groups that would fit our country? I don't want to ever choose these in these games based on meta, on what's good. I know obviously some of the idea groups in EU4 are dramatically better than others, right? We all know that. I would like these primarily to be chosen off of just roleplay, right? Like what fits the core identity of our country? What directions are maybe we moving towards that it would make sense for us to go into? Those sorts of things. So give a few proposals and I'll run a poll on those. We'll do it that way. For me, the natural ones to come to would be like obviously trade. I think maybe offensive because we've been very aggressive. I think religious would make a lot of sense given our history. Maybe administrative as well or innovative, but yeah. those are the ones that come to mind for me, at least. We will take exploration. Let's split off a couple of our heavy ships. Can we upgrade them yet? No. We'll put it into port in Cagliari and prepare a, or Sassari rather. We're not going to use that second-hand port in the south of Sardinia, and prepare them to go exploring in the New World. Alright, so the war is over. Hellas has survived, though they've lost their capital of Athens. They have kept 4 provinces, which is enough to rebuild with. At this point, the priorities of Castora, I'm sure she's just angrily plotting away in Sassari right now, are a couple things. Obviously, it's to rebuild our military and reposition and reinforce our, more extreme territories, such as those in Iberia and those in North Africa, and then to prepare an army and a navy for a war of Enotolikon, where we can obviously take back the lands of our allies in Hellas and help to build them up to be a strong ally and a strong member of House Torres. In addition to that, we obviously are very interested in the unexplored regions of the world, and we'll be beginning to send out exploring missions. So that is what we are going to be entirely pretty much focused on right now. Religious or trade? Trade or maritime? Trade, maritime, or offensive? Aristocratic? That's an interesting one. How come? Religious or trade? Alright, we got a lot, so I'll set up a poll right now. We'll do that. Pull. There you are. Trade. Religious. We've got maritime, yeah. Maritime. Anything I missed here? Aristocratic, I will throw it in there. Why not? And then economic. Okay. I'll do a 5-minute poll on that one. Okay. We will obviously be naming Antolikon our rival, except we cannot for some reason. Huh, no, we cannot actually. We'll wait for that. Again, last session we did sell Moray to the Norwegians, who I guess sold it to the British, and then we removed them as a rival. So one of Castora's foreign policy shifts is that she's going to try and actually cooperate a little bit with the British. Because we used to be very strong allies with them. It's just our holding in Moray caused a lot of tension and issues, given that Castor II did not want to sell it or give it up, as he was not raised there, but he spent a lot of time there before taking over as ruler. All right, let's wait for the debt. I'm going to forget to do that otherwise. We're good on that, so we'll take Press Gangs, which will give us more sailor recovery and maritime force limit. Oh, that's huge, actually. Let's see if we can grow our fleet more then. I know, we're still over. Fuck. We do have a lot of ships, to be fair, so that kind of makes sense. Our fleet has been pretty big for a while. I think it makes up like, I want to say, a fifth of our expenses. Close to 50% of our expenses are our fleet. Let's go ahead and mothball it. Take off that bark first, though. Oh yeah, there we go. Way more money. I think going for the New World would make sense in a Portugal way, like the Orthodox expansion into the Aegean forces' new routes. Exactly. For us, it's a trading thing, right? Because in the past, we, RP-wise, had a fair bit of trade coming out of Greenland, because we had almost a monopoly in the Mediterranean over the ivory coming out of there. And then we had a good working relationship-ish with the Fat Mints for trade, so all that trade coming from the Red Sea, we probably were given priority in the Mediterranean on that, given that, you know, we were pretty friendly with them. We actually mainly fought Christians, but now, given the, 6 or 7 wars we fought with Muslims in North Africa, and the support we've given the Pope in taking all the Maghreb, there's no way the Muslims would be trading with us at this point, right? The Fatmids, who in the past would have really liked us, and they still actually kind of do. Most traders were very religious in this region, in the time period, in this region over here. Traders tended to be very religious, and they did trade with Christians, but given our actions, most would not be doing that anymore. So we need new routes to trade and get the many resources out of Asia, which is why we think that going through Asia over here, which was still a common belief, would be our pinnacle goal. Because we've kind of been cut off, you know. I would say at this point. We'd get a little trickle, but very little. A few sessions ago, you and France beat up Castile. Were province or any of their other vassals released? Yes. They are marches of Castilla. I believe, yes. Or of vassal. Toulouse is a march of Castilla, and Provence is a vassal of Castilla. And Leon is as well. Who owns Vinland? No one. They're independent. One of the things I set up in the New World was a Norse country up here in Vinland. Given how much interaction there was in CK3, if you remember, there was that whole mechanic for basically New World stuff. So I kind of thought it would make a little sense RP-wise that obviously since so much had been going on in Greenland and Iceland, and we got those events about going to Canada a lot, that it makes sense. But I also said last session that RP-wise, Vinland is very small. So RP-wise, Vinland would be at max maybe 50 to 60,000 people. They claim a lot of territory, but in reality, this is not a huge country. It's just a trading outpost that used to be from Sweden or Norway, essentially. Greenland is obviously an independent English settlement, like it was in CK3. And then I also did unite the Aztecs, but it looks like they broke up. They do have a Caribbean holding, though. All right, we'll take the trade fair. We'll educate our heir as well. Let's see. Castoro is 5 years old. He's a 3-4-3. We'd want to see him have a military education. Given where we're at right now, there's no way Castoro wouldn't prioritize that. I mean, that's going to be pretty pivotal for us going forward. We'll do a modern army education. We'll get him to learn the most cutting edge stuff, because we've been struggling a lot lately. We've never really been behind on military tech, but we've never been super ahead either. Except for those bombards in CK3, that was pretty ridiculously advanced, to be honest. Pretty out there. What's our heir name? Castoro. It'd be Castoro III. That was the one that Troconero wanted. Also, let's see if we can explore. We can. Does anyone have a good Sardinian name for our explorer? Trade. Really? Hell yeah. Okay, what was the poll like? Was it close? No, trade dominated. All right. Does anyone have a good name for an explorer? Borzoni di Busca is not bad, to be fair, but I'll give it like 2 seconds. Anyone have a name? Or we go with Borsone? Borsone it is. All right. Oh my God. A 2-6-2-1. If only that went into maneuver. I think our explorer may be leading our naval battles in the future. This is like a military guy who just really wants to go exploring. Okay, we are going to start with sending to the West African Sea to go ahead and get that gap. We know about all these countries down in modern-day Nigeria and West Africa because we've had contact with them and fought them a lot with the Pope, but we haven't explored the coast formally, so we'll do that to start off with. Castoro has been lacking in the subject he is studying and is beginning to affect his education. Too bad. There will be a time where our children can do what they want, but that time is not right now. Guy could try to explore. Yeah, he's pretty fucking good. Goddamn. If he gets into a naval battle with anyone across the ocean, I think he'll do pretty fine. France is entirely rebuilt too. They are up to 86,000 soldiers. The glory of our capital has long been neglected. We now have an opportunity to improve the city and make it a beacon of cultural pride. This may prove costly, but there is an alternative solution. Yeah, we can afford to use our manpower for this. We've got quite a lot right now. I mean, unless the Castillans attack or something, then we're kind of fucked, but we do have two really big allies. I don't think it would be very wise for them to do so. Let me think here. I would like to get some more barracks, but it's not the most important. Alright, I think we get ready for the War of Crete. Castora has been plotting away for this war. So we will have to do a no Casus Belli war. We have 2 stability. We'll go down to 0, but we're also going to take a lot of aggressive expansion. In the early days of EU4, you didn't get aggressive expansion. You only lost stability. Now you get both. So this will be a bit of a rough war in terms of our reputation in the Mediterranean, but we are the defender of the Holy Church, so we'll be forgiven a little bit. One of the greatest and richest men in Sardinia, Barsone Cafaso, has died without an heir. A well-respected trader who built his fortune from the sugar trade, he was a well-known patron of religious and culture and art. Now in death, he has bequeathed all his wealth to the state. We can use it, so we will take that. It'll be put to good use preparing a war with the heathen, so I'm sure he'd be happy with that. How's our inflation looking? Do we need a monetary advisor? We do. Yeah, we've got a good amount of inflation. We'll go with Rafik. No, never mind. He's a heathen. Well, she's not hyper-religious, but we're locked in a bunch of religious conflicts right now, so we definitely keep that in mind. So we'll go for... Oh my god, they're all Muslims. Let's throw them out of our court and see if we can find a better advisor. We'll do that. We'll expel all the Muslim advisors from Sassari and Logadoro. Sometimes we have the chance to set something into motion without seeming to have done anything. One such chance has arisen recently, with a cardinal living in Saracusta admitting to an agent from Sardinia he would consider moving across the border to Castello and support us in the Curia for a price. While this may be tempting, there may be a greater price to pay if we take advantage of this. The wrath of Castello, the country he'd be deserting. Well, I have one thing to say on that. Fuck him. We'll take that goddamn cardinal from the Castellans. Damn right. In time, many of the everyday occurrences in the life of our queen and her predecessors have become the subject of ceremony. We already got this event. We'll keep it at a modest level. Which will piss off the nobles, but... The event basically says, do we want to have nobles in our bedchambers when we're getting dressed from dawn till dusk? And the answer is no. No, we don't want that. Really want to get shipyards. I think we're 1 tech away from that. Let's remove a few of these. We'll go with Barcel Tassone. Institution spread speed, and he's actually a Christian. So, we can work with him. And we will send our fleet out once more to go down the coast of Western Africa. Do you have any RMs? What are RMs, Susie? Could you try to vassal Hellas first? Let's see if we could. They're pretty big and they're pretty far away, but you never know. Where is it? Border distance. Nope, not gonna happen. We lost a lot of transports. I'm gonna get us up to 16 transports. When those are done, we're gonna launch the invasion of Crete and land a force there to take the islands, which will be a very big force. Are they Muslim? No, they're Orthodox. Okay. Huh. Ah, royal marriages. Yeah, we have one with France, we have one with Lombardy, and we have one with Hesse. All 3, I believe. Let me check. Hesse, Lombardy, and France. Yes, all 3. We have finished the last of the coastline. There is multiple places we can potentially colonize without many people here, only a few locals. There's an outpost on the edge of the desert in Africa, and there are some islands down to the south too that there's nobody on at all. They appear to be deserted. We may send some traders there to set up a base. With that done, let's go ahead and head to the North Atlantic. Does Serbia have a big army? At 30k. Hellas is requesting their aid in the Philopolesian War against Philopopolis, Cyprus, Ferrer, and Dobruja. Oh my god, that's Vladimir! It's for the territories up here. All right. Unmothball the fleet already. We're going to fight the War of Cyprus while this war is ongoing as well. They're going to take these northern territories. We might be able to relieve them in the south. Oh, man, another big war here. Hellas is really having a problem in the east. The main reason being they've made no fucking allies there. And the age of reformation. From east to west, this is the age of religious conviction, debate, and mass movement. In Europe, Protestantism is entrenched while millenarianism takes hold of Iran, and religious oh my god, I can't speak today. Syncretism shapes Indian society. President 2 colonists have a large city. We lost all those, damn. All our lovely era bonuses are gone. Let's see what we need here. Converting provinces. Launch the clergy influence. Own all provinces of your culture group, which I think is Sicily we don't have. 100% religious unity. 2 continents, which we do have, and audit the government, which we do have as well. So we will get a little bit, very slowly. And we have a reform. I think? Do we? No. Bureaucracy. We can change it now, I guess. Union of Cities, theocratic bureaucrats, representatives of the crown, regional councils, royal favoritism, expanded royal court, decentralized bureaucracy, or centralized bureaucracy. We'll go for centralized bureaucracy. That's what we had before. Crete and Vladimir are on the other side. Oh, I'm very aware. So we can't fight a separate war, though, can we? No, we can. Crete didn't join. Cyprus did, I think. Yeah. No, Crete's not in the war. We can do nothing to fight them here, so we're just going to focus it on Crete and stay in the war to hopefully allow Hellas to survive, and we'll use our navy, of course. One war after another. We've been at war constantly, I think, for around 20 years now. It's been a long time. How far are we from admin 8? A long ways to go. I'll just up our stability after we go and fight this one war here. Let's also get our Marine Task Force. You actually can get Marines in EU4 now, can't you? Yeah, we can. Let's get some of those. Let's get a small task force of 10, maybe 2, 3. Gold. Marines get bonuses landing navally, right? Isn't that how it works? Marines came after I really stopped playing EU4 really consistently. What's up, Schwab? How's Protestantism? It has already appeared. It is in, primarily, it appeared in Istria. No, I apologize. It appeared in Trieste to start out with. And it is beginning to expand. There's a large amount of it in Bohemia as well. A lot in Bohemia. And then there's a giant center of Reformation up in northern Germany. Oh my god, Sweden's already Protestant! Skåne is a center of the Reformation, and all of Sweden has converted already. Wow. Part of Vladimir's Protestant, too. Oh man, that's interesting. So it looks like the centers of the reform are in Hungary, northern Germany, and then Sweden are the homes of reform here. Tarantula says hello. I say hello back, though. I fucking hate spiders, man. Alright, we'll head to the Caribbean next. We've charted the North Atlantic. Actually, we should probably do the regular Atlantic, but it's fine. Okay, we'll do that. And then we'll send 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then that will be good enough to land forces in Crete. Once our transports are done. Yeah, of course they go Protestant. They were one of the first ones historically to do it, right? I believe. Scotland is independent. That's extremely odd. This music is way too slow for this. There we go. Oh, a naval battle I didn't even notice. Their fleets cannot contend us. That is one thing we absolutely have here. I'll be saying that all the way until we only have Sardinia. We'll only have Sardinia left, and I'll be coping and talking about how our fleet's really strong. We'll send in Arnie. Are we good yet? Alright. August 1st, we launch our war. Alright, we have an offer to educate Castor from an old friend. We will not do that as we will need this money for the war. And I would prefer to reduce the amount of debt we will take on here. What are you doing over there? It's a lot of attrition. Alright, let's declare the war of Crete then, and attempt to establish a foothold in the Eastern Mediterranean. It'll only be Serbia who joins. We'll send the primary fleet. $7,000 men on the island. We should beat that when we land there. You double their men. We need to win this landing though. Hessa sent us 70 gold. Naive enthusiast. Fine by me. We did marry his brother or cousin or something like that. 9 ships. 5 and 4. Alright, when we defeat this army, which we will do sadly, I'm going to send men into Serbia as well. Actually, they have a lot of men, don't they? 30,000. It's doable. We can land them in Ragusa. We'll do that. We'll need to drop, I'd say, 40,000 soldiers there to be alright. Let's go check the coastline. They've got a task force of 17,000. I'm going to move the main fleet off the coast of Serbia so we can see their troop movements here. More important than Crete, since we have that at this point. It's a big fort on Crete, though. God damn. Ten ships, no heavies. Oh, because they're still sitting last of these. God damn it. One thing I always do find so, what's the word? It's really hard to adjust to EU4 from CK3 because in CK3 you'll have countries, including yourself, but others who are so strong, and then they go into EU4 and it's just, they're unrecognizably weak, like Hellas. Hellas was very strong in CK3, they had a lot of soldiers, but EU4 and how their military system worked, you know, makes them so fucking weak. So when you get into EU4, there's all these countries that just like completely shift around. Which is interesting, and it makes sense to be fair, because, you know, going between like periods and like eras of warfare, and just generally changes things dramatically, but it still is so jarring. What's the flag behind you? What's up, Astro? That is the Venetian flag. Which is one of my favorite flags to ever exist, because it just looks fucking cool as fuck, you know? There's very few flags in history that have had as much drip as the Venetian flag, to be honest. Like, I mean, goddamn, whoever designed that should have become ridiculously wealthy. I'm sure they did. King Gustav Vasa established the Lutheran Church in the 1520s, the Reformation in Sweden. Did obviously didn't just happen overnight. Yeah. Oh, yes. The off-air education event makes me wish the estate system was more interactive and important to running country in EU4. I agree. That's the thing. I will not start ranting about this again. But there are so many cool things that they could have done. Hold on. Where the fuck are my goddamn transports? No, go fuck yourself. There's so many cool things that could have been done like that in EU4. I really wish they'd done more things to expand on, like, leaders, like generals, explorers, you know, your advisors and the kings and their heirs, right? They added a little bit. I mean, I think even in the beginning of EU4, you didn't even get your heir and your spouse, if I remember correctly, but I really wish there had been more character interactions like that. I don't mean, it doesn't have to be CK3, but just a little bit would be nice. We're going to explore the southern Atlantic as well. We're starting to get some pretty good maps towards Asia. Yet again, I'm putting all my troops into a place that I can't retreat from, but you know what? We got to do the Kaiser and burn the bridges behind us, you know? Oh, God. Here comes a lot of men. That's a lot of men. So that's a lot of boys right there. Oh! They're going in. What? No. What are you doing? I don't expect us to win this, but we'll give it our best shot here. We can retreat now into split. I may have to call the Pope here. We did roll really fucking well, to be fair. My God, are we gonna win this? No, it'll be close though. God damn, boy. Finish off the Cretan Navy here. We don't want any contention in the Mediterranean. And we got stacked wiped. All right. We're gonna make a call. We're gonna write a letter. Because we need to win this. Try to think where we should land troops here. I'm gonna start landing in split this time. We lost a lot more men, but thankfully we can get a lot more. Relations with heathens have always been tense. Though conversion of entire Europe is a noble thought indeed, sometimes trading with pagan powers to be more useful than clashing with them. Yeah, we won't get in the way of them. We're not really religious. So the Navy in. The Pope is going to start to send men too, or he should. There are no levies in EU4, only professional armies, which is pretty weird, true. For example, Gustav's second son, Johann III, was overthrown by his older half-brother, Eric XIV. He wanted to re-establish ties with the Catholic Church and married a Polish princess. Really? It's a kind of a very back-and-forth thing. That's what it was like for most of Europe in this time period, though. It is like one ruler would, you know... One second, I gotta think here. One ruler would be like very pro, you know, a reformed church and go it, and then there would be a civil war, and it'd just go back and forth over and over again. I mean, English history in this time period up until, really 18th century was all just religious civil wars and conflicts. Or at least with heavy religious undertones. Alright, let's land these men in split. Ah, there's the Cretan Navy. Where's my main force? Cyprus took Rhodes. I did not realize that. All right, here we come. Come on, fuck. Our transports are getting fucked up. Go, go, go. We got there. They retreated. Will you take the Serbian coastline? That I'm not too sure about. I don't really have any intention to expand into the Balkans, and I don't want to. We might make like we might take a trade port or something. Like we might take Kataro or something, but I'm not going to start to expand into the Balkans. It doesn't make any sense for us to do so. What I might do is take the coastline and sell it to Hellas, though, if they want it. They're not in this war with us, though. So I might take it and try and get it to Hellas. We could do that. But we have no intention to contend Hellas rule there. Okay, looking good. This will put us up to 37,000 men. Castor will be leading this army herself. And here comes the Pope, too. We can start the march now. He sent 40,000 men to northern Serbia. Once we get our reinforcements, this should go very quickly. We'll keep these guys in the reserve, and we're going to start to train them, too. So we have a very well-trained task force as well. And we'll get Bernardo Berti. Oh, we lost the Pope. We lost the papacy to Hellas, though. If there's anyone to lose it to, it's definitely them. So that's not the end of the world. And we've explored the Caribbean. We now have very good maps of the West, but we can't travel any further without our ships completely collapsing. Yeah, let's go ahead and start to move in here. We're going to take the fort in Qatari, and we'll send the rest of our soldiers to just back them up in Qatar in the port there. How the fuck did we have soldiers over there? They must have been the ones that retreated. They went up to Hellas, maybe? Huh, that's odd. Do you like the Fallout games? Yeah, I like them a lot. I played all of them. Well, except 1 and 2. The original 2 I didn't play. The rest I played. I played a ton of Fallout 3 when I was in high school. I played that game religiously. I really liked Fallout 4 too. I played a ton of that in college. A lot. Like, I think I literally took a week off of school just to play Fallout 4 and didn't go to any classes. Sure, I know I did, because I remember that very keenly. Good decisions. We'll call it Ziad, and we will go for... Who do we need to get more influence with? The burghers. We need to get base production up to 5 in Arborea. Let's do that right now. Put some focus there. There we go. Oh, 220 ducats as well. Not bad. I'd really like to destroy their fleet if we have the chance. New Vegas? Yeah, I played a lot of that too. Excuse me. I downloaded a lot of that and played a bit of it, oh man, like 4 months ago or something like that. And I still enjoy the gameplay, but my god, the graphics are so fucking outdated now. It's kind of crazy. We need to deal with some of this. We have way too many diplomatic relations. Let's get rid of all our military access here. We'll steal their maps. I was hoping they have something in the Americas, but they do not. We cannot steal any of the maps. Oh well. We need the... The Pope. And then we need to get rid of one of our admirals. And we need to get rid of one of our generals. We'll do that. Alright, as soon as this castle falls, we should be able to get terms here. Like I said, I think, is there any way to know if a country will accept you trying to sell it to them? Because, like, I'm worried that I will take, like, Albania and then try and sell it to Hellas, and then they won't take it, and I'm going to be stuck with Albania, which I'd prefer not to do. It's a tough one. We'll just take, like, Valona and D'Abruzzo. No, but you could sit the Papal States if they say no. That's true. That's true. We'll do it that way. Check if they have cores there. They do not. No cores at all. You think they would accept? Well, we'll see. We'll take these two provinces from them. Well, depending on aggressive expansion, though. I did take a lot of AE to declare this war since we had no Casus Belli, so we'll see. When we're done with this, we can also march into Hellas too and try and relieve them. They're actually winning this war from the looks of things. Which I did not expect. Castora continues to lack interest in military education. That's fine. He just needs to work harder. That's a him problem. We still have manpower. We could probably still get this Pope in the war. Is there anyone else who would fight these guys with us? Pontus fucking hate them. Maybe. Vladimir actually hates them, but we hate Vladimir too much. The Fatmids, no. Castalla, no. The problem is we hate everyone who hates them. The Pontus we could maybe work with, but they're... I don't know. They are also heathens, and we're gonna launch literally probably a crusade here, so that wouldn't make very much sense. I guess we'll just have to fight them with the Pope, honestly. Just doable. I feel like Castor II will be lackluster if he doesn't grow out of his phase of not wanting to get along with his education. I agree. Draconero. He needs to buck the fuck up is what he needs to do here. Alright, we got the castle. I'm going to siege out the southern part of Croatia, and then we're going to go relieve the Hellas down in the south. We'll take it. Oak Forest for ships. Heavy combat ability 20%, which is monstrous. The poor Castellan heavy fleet will, is in for a bit of a shock, I think. Alright, let's go relieve that siege in the south. We're gonna get a confrontation with their navy, too. Big battle. And I think, oh, Castor has been studying hard lately and is beginning to show. Good. He bucked the fuck up. Good. Very needed. We sunk the entire fleet and we got one of their transport ships. We are going to push back that army, sieging out Hellas. And we'll send a detachment north as well. Who are we at war with? Cyprus, Dobruja, Fair. Okay, we're going to land in Cyprus then. And then our other forces will send north. Oh, they pieced out of the war. They took war reparations. We got some of that. Yeah, they literally just took war reparations, but we're still at war with the rest of them. We'll go take their capital. They're actually Christians. Hellas, if they win this, maybe it'll take a bunch of territory too, which they're in need of. They had a Protestant uprising. We'll deal with that in a minute. We're not gonna allow Hellas to go Orthodox or, sorry, Protestant. Goddamn fucking heathens. Yeah, because there's the center of the Reformation there. Castora's malevolent. I don't think she would care if she was working with a Muslim country to kill another Muslim country. Her personally, absolutely not. But she's smart, so she knows that there's problems with associating with heathens. In terms of the Christian world getting pissed the fuck off, you know? Practically, no, she would not give a shit, though. Siege of Rhodes will sink the Cyprus Navy, and then we're going to land on Cyprus proper. I'd really like to get it. I don't think I can declare an interest there now, though, right? So I know there's a way to do this. Provinces of interest, yes. Nope. We can make Cyprus a point of interest, though. Alright, let's get terms from Serbia. How much AE would we get here? A lot. We'll take all their money. We're gonna make them release Epirus. We will make them give us war reparations, and we'll take Volona. No, we can't take this AE, because even Cyprus will be a lot. We'll give Volona to the Pope. No, we can. Yeah, we can. Okay. And then Cyprus, we will completely annex her. Sorry, Crete, we will completely annex. We will get a coalition, but that's fine. It's worth it to establish an actual naval base in the Eastern Mediterranean. So the Pope now has lands in the Balkans, and we have land in the Eastern Mediterranean and the Aegean. It'll make the coming war of Anatolikon much easier. Paradox news. What happened, Escova? What's up? What is the Protestant Reformation looking like? Let's go take a look as soon as we see if we win this battle, because this is going to be a little tight here. We have a good general, but we have all the odds against us on a highland mountain. But we're rolling better, so we are going to win this, it looks like. Good. No, we lost. Fuck. So close. The war is over. Philopolis is going to give war reparations. They're gonna do fine. Just fine. Fuck. We can't help with the Protestants though. Paradox wants to shut down development studios in Malmo and Umea. Any particular reason they're doing that besides cutting costs and increasing profit or anything like that? Or were they just making like really like obscure shitty games for Paradox, or are they just trying to up their bottom line as usual? Alrighty, we're good. I am not going to mothball our navy. I don't trust ourselves to do that anymore. We'll give Hellas some money. Hopefully they can begin rebuilding. That was a pretty costly war. I really want to declare more rivalries. I'm just going to get rid of that notification, so I stop looking at it. Protestant Reformation. It's growing rapidly. Northern Germany has 2 provinces now that have converted in Anhalt. A lot of Hungary and Bohemia. A lot of the Balkans. My gosh, there's a lot of Protestantism over there. Including potentially Northern Hellas, which is not good. And then, of course, all of Sweden and now Finland as well. It is going very quick. Again, I think in many ways, Castora especially wouldn't really care that much. She'd see it as only a problem in that it divides the Catholics when she wants to fight the Orthodox folks. So I think that'd be her main issue of it. Why is Hungary animist, are they? Oh my god, where the fuck did that come from? They weren't before, I can tell you that. How the hell did that happen? They went back to pagan worship over there in Visegrad. And Hungary. Fucking heathens. See, that's what happens when the Protestants show up. Oh, they start believing all manner of things. Probably worshipping a golden fucking bull over there is what they're doing. That's what happens when you forego the true Church of Christ. An Andaluzo-Baroness official, Solomon Buramillo, rise to high office has been easy and has angered many of those closest to Castora II. Camilo Lazares, a member of one of the oldest Sardinian families in our country, has approached our monarch demanding we relieve Solomon Buramillo of his permissions. Yeah, we'll do that. He's not competent enough for us to fight for him. Alright, let's get our troops training here for the next war. How many can we have in Crete? Double. Alright, I'm gonna send the rest of the army to Crete as well. We'll take it a little bit early. Courthouse. The problem of hereditary local nobility is that they tend to value their local interest over those of the rest of the nation. We need to steadily expand the reach of the government, which begins with the most important area of administration, justice. We can embrace the Renaissance. I thought we'd already embraced it, but we hadn't. Spreading from Italy and across Europe, the cultural rebirth of the ancient Greeks and Romans brings with it a new way of thinking about the world we live in. They give us a new understanding of how we relate to other people in ways that change politics as much as it changes art. While encompassing a multitude of cultural movements expressed in a multitude of ways in different places, there are a few core tenets, I think it's a misspelling, bringing continuity to our cultural age. These principles have been pervasive in our society and carry influence not just in philosophy and humanist teachings, but in art and architecture, law and warfare. Over time, this will make our nation strong and people indomitable in the realm of the temporal as well as the spiritual. Nice. We actually embraced the Renaissance. It only took until 1490. Hell yeah. So this game is kind of like Crusader Kings. What's up, Pavel? It's made by the same game company. It's in a similar sort of vein, right? Which is that you control a country. It's much less character driven though, right? CK3 is fundamentally about the dynasty and the character and then your nation to a lesser degree. This is about your country as a whole, right? In this era. And then they're like, the characters in it just aren't really flavorful. So it's much more of like a country simulator rather than like a character dynasty and nation simulator, right? But similar. Definitely similarities. Let's get those training. It is the Venetian flag, Alice. Absolutely. Also, those two studios have hands at development of CK3 and Stellaris. Imagine if Paradox was run well at the corporate level. Can you imagine if the corporate executives in Paradox actually ran their company well? Do you imagine how cool it would be? One day. That's not true. It'll never happen. They went public. They made their company public. It'll never happen. That's a tragedy, man. CK3's development is already in such a bad place right now. Like, god fucking damn, dude. It could have been their best game. It still may be their best game, but it'll probably just be modders who do it now. Like, not the game company. In the full Pavel the Drunk. What's up, Dolphin? How's it going? What's up, run button? A kiss of death. Oh. Stellaris has also had the best development out of any game they've ever made. The Stellaris development team, in my opinion, has done the best out of any game Paradox has done. It's been consistently high quality with few exceptions. They have put effort into providing high quality free content, which you don't see in any other Paradox game. Not really. Not really. And it's overall just been very much about building things up, not looking to rush a release. Like, the Stellaris devs have talked repeatedly about not wanting to make a sequel and just build on it. That's a bad sign for both of those games. Yeah. Modders carry Paradox. I've got a video I've written about that. About how Paradox is a great example of exploiting free labor because people love something. Just said. Renaissance masterpiece, wonderful. We lost our admiral, but we still have our explorer. He cannot go anywhere though. And we could almost get our first colonist as well. The Papal States wants to share knowledge of Western Africa. They're our allies. We'll do it. That's worrying. I mean, obviously they're going to go colonial. Have they taken them yet? Exploration, the number 2 ideas of the Papal State. They're already at level 5 on it. We're actually going to compete with the Papal States in colonial stuff. Colonial Pope. Y'all ready for that? Oh boy. It'll be interesting. Alright, we have a period here where we're going to have a bit of stability and a lack of war. Just bang on wood there. This is a point when Castor would be primarily focused on rebuilding the military, rebuilding the navy, establishing a position in the Eastern Mediterranean, and much on a larger scale, we're preparing a war against Anatolikon, right? We're preparing a war to just completely try and destroy them. We'll need to blockade the Bosphorus. That's the main thing. So we have to win navally, and then we can get land back for Hellas. So this is our preparation phase. Well, we're also preparing to send traders and people seeking a better life down to the Azores as well. I apologize. Cape Verde is where we're going to go first. I think that follows Jenner 185. The game is more like a traditional RTS type game where you control a vehicle that you control entirely, whereas CK and Imperator Rome has more focus on individuals and their power. Yes, exactly. Why is the Papal State so big? Because they've been our ally and they got really strong in CK3. That's why. Remember the Imperator situation, how they dropped it because they couldn't find employees to work on it, and now they have close to 2 studios? Yeah, it took a while. They also just kind of abandoned its development in the beginning too because it was so poorly run. Treaty of Tortilla with the Papal States and Sardinia. Yes, that's exactly what this will be, Trey. I wonder if that will be balanced, given one of the parties involved will probably be the one deciding who gets what. I wonder if we'll get an unbiased pope or if he'll just give himself everything. If we get fucked on the Treaty of Tortilla, we're going to definitely have to go against the pope a wee bit. Castora continues to lack interest in military. Too bad. Rule 1 of parenting when you rule a country. Ignore any dreams your children have. They don't matter. Their job is to build your legacy. It's important to remember that. It's a very important lesson as a ruler. That's going to be rough. Our allies are not very strong. I take that back. Hayastan is really powerful. Where are they at? Oh, fuck. They're allied with fucking Muslims? Truly, the heathens have no self-respect. Vladimir's losing a war? Whoa. We're gonna have to go up to force limit. We have 50,000 soldiers right now. Then again, if we block the Bosphorus, we can stop that tide come. I think. You can completely still block the Bosphorus in EU4, right? Treaty of Tordelis. In the future, if their colonies gain independence, we'll have a bunch of theocracies in a new world. Yeah, I think there's a good chance of it. I just want to win the lottery so I can fund extra dev teams for Paradox, and so every game has a custodian dev team. No, you're thinking about it wrong. If you win the lottery, make your own game company and pay their employees better and make a rival to them that does things better. Paradox is not savable anymore. Paradox became unsavable as a game company as soon as they went public with their company. It's now a publicly traded company whose majority shares are owned by investment groups. They're not savable. They're really not. Like, I love the devs. I love the people who like make these games at Paradox, but the company themselves is not redeemable. You got to understand that. As soon as you go the route of EA or any big game company and you sell your soul for sweet dollaroos, it's done, right? You may hire good people who do good things, but the company as a whole is not savable. So, if you ever win the lottery, make your own game company. Just pay their employees better and get them to make better games. Easy. Your neck cut out. Fuck straight. You need to control one side of the strait. Fuck. Okay, thank you. That will be rough then. Oh. Okay. We kind of need someone else for this war, but I don't know who would even be willing to join us, or who we'd be willing to fight with, more importantly. Hungary is just not relevant anymore. Pontus. No, we're not going to fight with heathens. Vladimir actually really likes us. Oh, apparently we improved relations, that's why. I don't remember doing that, but I'll take their word for it. No, we're just going to have to fight this war ourselves, fundamentally. What? No, we'll win. Mostly trade ships and transports, probably. I think the main play here is to wait until Hayastan goes to war with someone, and then that's the time when we strike. If either one of them fight another war, that's when we're going to launch our crusade. Again, we need to be tactful about this. Castora is not stupid. She's a very intelligent woman. She's a very sound military mind. She would know that. And she's not going to throw us into a stupid war for revenge. She's malevolent and lawful. So we'll wait until one of them start a war. And then that's when we're going to get our revenge and restore Hellas. So until then, we can either build ourselves up or maybe work on a couple other minor wars. But then again, there's not really anywhere else to expand to. The Western Mediterranean as a whole is very centralized under a couple big powers. So Anatolia is kind of like the Ottoman Empire. Yeah, they're the Orthodox Ottomans. I mean, I think they're very, like, their culture is very step-based, I think. No, they're Greek. They're one of the heirs to Byzantium. Do you remember in CK3 when the Mongols conquered all of the Byzantine Empire in one shot? And, like, made me shit my pants? Yeah, it's because a bunch of them split off after, right? Byzantium died when the Mongols took Constantinople, and Anatolia, along with Hellas, are two of the successor states that came out of that when Mongolia collapsed, right? And then the Ilkhanate collapsed, and then the Greeks got, like, home rule back. So they have a lot of Mongol influence and stuff, and they're very powerful, but they are actually Greek still, so they're just one of our rivals. Castora II and Pomita Pignatelli? These Italian names, man. Know each other since they were children. One might say their friendship is unmatched as the Castora Sardinian court. Castora II, Castora herself once mentioned that Comita Pignatelli may possibly be the best friend she ever had. And he wants a position. Of course he does. We'll give him a position at court. He's apparently very talented. He would have made a very good general. That's actually a shame. Let's get an admiral. 356. Whoa. Barzone Tribuluzio. That's a good fucking admiral. Whoa. We got ourselves a little Sardinian Nelson here. Can we do any more explorations? I don't think so. Nope. Or just waiting to get that colonist, and then we can start colonizing. We could destroy the last of the Sajadeeds. I think we'll do that. I'll send a task force. We'll take out that last stronghold of their country. And then the Canary Islands, no, they're allied with Takrur. Oh, fuck that. What if we introduce microtransactions in EU4? Pay 40 EU bucks to get 10,000 manpower. You joke. You joke, but if that was announced at PDXCon next year, I wouldn't bat an eye. I'm gonna be honest. It'd be like, yeah, that's about right. That figures. That makes sense. Do you want to give your CK3 rule or an extra good trait? Only 50 paradox coins, which is the equivalent of 4 USD. I just read your RP post for Spain. Interesting direction. It also sort of answers the question I asked you in DMs because a fervent imperialist like Spain would absolutely want to retain that title even if it's bogus. Yep. Yeah, you gave me ideas about that thing you mentioned, so I may do it. What is with Sardinia and our Giga Chat admirals? The thing is, we are naturally very good seamen, being on an island. We have strong seamen, both in terms of our navy and in terms of our dynasty. So it checks out. Same with our admirals. But yeah, the direction I have, I'm gonna go with Spain. Will be really fun to go with. Later today, the Vic session should be pretty fucking spicy. Pretty fucking spicy. Prince Castor's a zealot now. Really? Oh shit, he's a fucking zealot. To be fair, he's been brought up in religious wars with his mother. I mean, that actually really checks out, doesn't it? At least he's not malevolent, he's just a zealot. Alright. He's had a military education, he's probably been on campaign with his mother. That checks out. Oh, alright, that'll be interesting. How are we gonna play that then? That makes sense with the way we're gonna go colonially, because he'd want to spread, obviously, the light of Christianity to the New World. And it would make sense in Eastern Europe, because we're fighting religious wars with false Christians, so... He'd just really probably continue the policies of his mother, to be honest. Again, last session I was talking about how we were gonna have this period of peace for a while. No. No. The Paradox gods saw very differently. The line holds true, indeed. We've had so many zealots, that's true. It's been kind of crazy. I hate capitalism and what it causes Paradox to do. Yeah, it's a tragedy. An amazing game company has become pretty horrible. Alright, we'll declare war, we'll finish out the last of the Sajadeeds. I think this is the 8th or 9th North African war with them. We've had so many, and we finally destroyed them. Government reform for administrative cadre. Administrative clergy, nobles of the robe, meritocratic recruitment, or support the commenda. I'll do a poll for this. Y'all are advisors of Queen Castor. We can either do, let me read them out for y'all. Support the commenda. Modern banking and trade routes have led to the creation of several commendas within our nation. These trade companies are formed around the investment of a silent partner and the trading skills and voyages of an active partner, allowing a wealthy merchant to effectively have multiple traders manage ports of his fortune and invest all of the Mediterranean. So the merchants would be in a large degree part of our administrative bureaucratic cadre. Meritocratic recruitment. We cannot let old privileges govern who will get the privilege of serving our kingdom as it grows. Instead, we must look only to the ability of each and every one. So very, kind of like a appointment by skill. Nobles of the robe. Noble families of the realm have sworn to provide only our counsel, but also eternal loyalty to our monarch. As our realm expands, it's clear that these duties cannot be solely performed by serving us with sword in hand. It's time to give a new generation nobles the right to serve in robes and pens. Or administrative clergy, which is let the church do it. I'll do a longer poll on that one again too. Give it some time. Those are the options. 36 jobs will be gone. 36? Aren't they making ridiculous profits? Hold on, let me look this up. They're literally making profits. Hold on, this is like their public release. I want to see the expenses and compare these here. $180 million profits in 2022. Where's their expenses? Oh, they're a Swedish company. This might be hard to find. For US companies, it's so fucking easy. Let me see if they're on Finviz. Hold up. I want to look something up. It's the ticker symbol. PDXST. I'll share my screen for this. I'm curious now. I want to look this up. Alright, they're not on... No, they're not on Finviz. I found, share price... I'm trying to find their operating income. I want to find, like, their expenses, which I can't find right now. They're making lots of money, though. Look at that revenue. Like a market watch, maybe. There we go. Cash and short-term investments, a little short of $1 billion. Assets, that can be a lot of things though. Total assets, 1.1 billion. Liabilities, 36 million. Debt, that's really not a lot. Accounts payable, 53 million. We have a lot of liabilities. Whoa. It's still not that bad though, comparatively. That's way more what I would have expected for a company like that. They're doing just fine. Yeah, they're doing, oh, capital expenditures is pretty high. Where the fuck is it all going? Got like 90 million difference there. They have the money for 36 jobs though. Like, my god. No, they're not hurting. I mean, their profits went up too by a fair bit. I saw that on the main part of things. Where is it? Yeah, income growth in 2022 was 36%. Like, they're doing good. It really did drop in 2021. Wasn't that CK3's release? Wasn't that when it dropped? CK3 did really bad. I think that's what it was. Yeah, at the end of 2020. And then going into 2021, that was the only game release. It did really bad because it was just kind of really poorly made. What did they... I think it was only DLC in 2021. That's probably what this is. They released no major game. In 2022, they had a lot of DLC, and then obviously Vicky came out. With all those pre-orders, they made a fuck ton. Companies in general want profit first, but it's starting to get scummy. Yeah, no. Like, they're... You expect better of a company like Paradox, but you really shouldn't. 2.5 mil? Yeah, it's not bad. That's just so fucking scummy. CK3 is very good. It's good due to modders. Modding has made it great. Paradox hasn't done very much. I also want to clarify, we're done with this. When I talk shit on Paradox, I'm talking shit on their corporate structure, which is just so fucking disgustingly profit-driven. And all companies innately are profit-driven. There's no reason they shouldn't be. But there's a difference between just gouging every fucking dollar you can at the expense of people who use your products, especially with a more relation service-based system like video games should be. It's not like you're selling them fucking boxes of cereal, right? I don't know. There's a much different type of relationship the consumer has with a corporation when it comes to games generally, but especially ones like Paradox, which are innately more community driven. Not in the sense that like Paradox interacts well with the community, but in the sense the community really carries Paradox entirely at this point, right? So it's just so sad to see fucking shitty decisions like that. So when I talk shit on Paradox, I talk shit on their corporate structure. The developers, the programmers, the designers who make these games, I am huge fans of. They all do great stuff. They all do the best that they can, I think, with the tools that they're given and the limits that I'm sure I placed on them. So I just want to clarify that. I'm not like just dicking on the people who are doing like actually cool stuff for these games. I'm talking about the other folks. Anyway, that's really depressing and sad and unnecessary. So, not surprising. Alrighty, Traders 1, right? So we'll do support the Commenda. And then we'll stop there. Alright, let's keep building up. Waiting for that siege to go down. I am going to build up we'll build up one more group. We'll build up one more reserves of 12 that we'll just have, and I'll keep them actually in reserve. They'll sit in Tunis unless we really need them. Even in the big wars. Paradox Davs is a flagship / heavy ship. I'm down. Given that they do the heavy lifting, I think that that is warranted. We'll do that. We'll make them one of our exploring ships. I'm gonna break the rule only once in this campaign for having realistic ship names, and that's just gonna be for that. Okay. I want to be colonizing already. This is fucking bullshit. We're really not getting a lot. You know why? Because I'm dumb. That's why. I have a small brain. Fuck. Yeah, it was our military access was really slowing that down. I'm also going to go for a tier 2 advisor for Diplo because we really need it. Take that little hit. That's fine. And we will mothball. The one exception. Yeah, I won't break the rules. I don't intend to either. That's just one good one we'll do. In honor of the bullshit that's being done by the game company. One of your ships after your dynasty. The Torres? Yeah, why not? We could name one of the exploring ships the Torres. Or Stano. Torres. Ooh. We will build a dockyard in Caesarea and get 1,600 sailors. I mean, it is practically, like, I think still one of the biggest cities in Europe, so there's a plethora of unemployed sailors there, which is exactly what we want. The noble families are the bulwark of our power. However, they are not a united force and are locked in a constant struggle against one another for influence and power. As time marches on, some noble houses might see their fortunes rise while others could lose all their power. The resulting envy leading to a bitter rivalries and recriminations. Recently, one of these rivalries boiled over into outright conflict as Sumunder de Oceano, the leader of the powerful noble house, was assassinated by his rivals. Furious, his surviving relatives are preparing their violent revenge. We can respect that as a malevolent heir of Cipriana. We'll let them deal with that. They need to start a war so we can go get our revenge here. We also really need rivals. Also look up the speed 4. We've been going pretty slow here. The 2 studios that will be shut down work on CK3 and Stellaris. Yeah, Scova was talking about it, which will kill those games since the jobs on them won't be replaced. Them killing CK3 just blows my mind. Like, fuck, man. It was so poorly released because they didn't have enough time on it. What I've seen with CK3 and Vicky 3, I'm gonna rant on this in a minute. We played a lot of the game and I haven't ranted yet today. The problem I see with Paradox right now, the biggest issue I see with them, is like, obviously it's the greed and the profit, but it's the fact that they're releasing alpha games. Paradox has always released games that weren't finished. It's been their business model, and there's nothing wrong with how they originally built it. I mean, you guys remember CK2, for anyone who's older than like 13, for the older Paradox people like me? Do y'all remember when CK2 came out and how they did that, right? CK2 when it came out was not innately an amazing game, but anyone who played it who was a strategy gamer, I think all of us innately knew it was the bedrock of a great game, right? Because like they were a smaller company then, they had less resources, everyone knew that and respected it, and they released a game and they made it very clear that it's like, listen, we're gonna take this game, we're gonna work on it, we've built a skeleton for it, and we'll build it into a great game. And they did, right? They released good quality DLC repeatedly right after launch, and they made it into a great game. Given their resources at the time and that they were a smaller company, and given the fact that even the base game was still pretty good, no one cared, because we're all like, okay, you need to fund yourselves, you need to fund your company, you're a smaller indie company, which they still were at that time, and it's like, okay, this is a reasonable thing to expect. We can respect the business model. At least that's how I saw it, right? And then they followed through. They released high quality DLC after high quality DLC, and it was a great game. I mean, CK2 was a masterpiece in my opinion, right? Amazing. And then they did the same thing with EU4. They released a fairly high quality game at the launch. It had problems, but again, same thing. It was a skeleton. The company was bigger, but it wasn't huge yet. So it was like, okay, we get it. This is still a playable game at launch. And then they released a bunch of good DLC, which the direction with I didn't care for, but I still thought it was reasonable. And until the last 2 years, the DLC prices weren't that high. They were reasonable, right? It was okay. There's just a lot of them, but they all had good content. The problem now is that they are no longer an indie game company, right? They are a massive studio with multiple billion-dollar evaluation. They're huge. And they're running the same model, which is this idea that they put out a game skeleton and then they can build it into something better. That works when you're an indie company, and people, all of us, I think, innately know that that's what they need to do to build these games up, which is great because we all want them. They don't need to do that anymore. They have the ability now to hire a lot of good quality people, work on these games until they have a very good launch, put them out, and then put out DLC, but do it on top of an already very good game. They have the resources for it, they have the money for it, they have the people for it. There's no reason not to do that. But what we're seeing now is that they're releasing games initially in an even more incomplete state than when they were an indie company. Like, that's what's happening. CK3, Vicky 3, look at both of those games. I would argue that they were less complete on launch than any other game that Paradox has really put out as a major multi-billion-dollar company. So what they want to do is keep the business plan that they built out of necessity for greed. And that's why I think so many Paradox people are pissed off and kind of just, you know, getting tired of things. Because we all know that they're wealthy. We all know that this doesn't need to be done this way. Why are they really being released in alpha versions instead of beta versions now? Because pre-orders make them a lot of money and they want to make the shareholders happy, right? That's what that is, obviously, you know. And if the game was higher quality, I don't think anyone would have issues with it, but they're rushing things for profit and they're doing all this just corner-cutting stuff. Paradox built its brand. They built their company on quality, right? They were the highest quality strategy games out there, with maybe the exception of the Total War games, maybe, but they were very different, so it's hard to compare them. Paradox built their brand and their company on quality, and they're not giving quality anymore. They're charging more for less quality. Why? Because they're a monopoly and because there's all the financial incentive. And that's why I don't know. I think many people, myself included, are kind of getting done with them. And it's rough though, because like, I don't know. Like when this Vicky 3 came out, I got really tired because a lot of like the really good critique was just lost in the onslaught of fucking Hoi 4 YouTubers bitching about war, right? I remember when Vicky 3 came out and I was like, okay, good. I hope that a lot of people put out stuff talking about the issues with Paradox and the problems with them and that Vicky 3 isn't acceptable. And there was a tiny bit of that, but what was the majority of it? It was guys like Spudgun and fucking ISP just bitching about no war. So any actual good constructive criticism that could have come out of that and would have helped things was just lost in the, where's my goddamn tank divisions? I want to go fight wars in more detail, which is just fucking pointless. So it's such a sad state of things right now. And it sucks because if anyone is like me and who has always loved, you know, strategy games and loved Paradox games, I mean, I loved them since I was a kid. I got them, I think I was 12 years old. So I've been playing them for probably 15 years now. It's such a sad state of things to see, honestly. But there's no alternative because no one else really has the interest or funds, realistically, to build another strategy game company. And that's what it would take, I think, at this point. And that's not going to happen. So for folks like us, we just kind of got to, I guess, build the mods to make these games playable and pay the high cost, which is fucking sad. All right, rant done. Holy Fury was so good. Yeah, it was a good final DLC. So fucking nice. Yeah, I think it was Sons of Abraham, wasn't it, Escova? It came out, I think, 3 or 4 months after launch. And in the first year, they launched, I know the Norse one they launched. The Islam one they launched. Sons of Abraham, By the Sword, I think. And then Old Gods. Weren't they all the first year? Something like that. Yeah. The process of centralization brings up matters that would have been forgotten in outdated legal codes and deferring legislation. A tax exemption that expired years ago has been founded by an administrator working in this field. I'll do that. What's the capital? That's a very good question. It's Constantinople, I think. No, it's not. Hold on, where the fuck is it? It's in Justinianopolis. What? Holy hell. Justinianopolis is the capital. It's a 34 dev, it's to the east of Ankara, modern day Ankara. That's a good city name, I'll give it that. God damn. Huh, that's cool. Game Freak did this, they released Pokemon S and V and the game wasn't finished with a lot of bugs and they still didn't fix most of them. Yeah. It's what happens when companies get run by, you know, executive boards that pursue these sorts of things. And I think it's very unreasonable to suggest that game companies aren't innately always going to be, you know, prioritizing profit. But there's a way to do that where you can maintain quality and actually not piss off your fucking base, right? There is. It's a choice not to do that. Watch 4 YouTubers saying Vic 3 needs a new war system. Yeah, I don't think... That shit is just so annoying and stupid. I think war needs to be completely revamped. It's got a lot of bugs. The system's good. It's just that the bugs and problems with it are so big. And I think the fact that, did y'all see the Victory Dev Diary that just recently came out where they talked about the state of the game? The one thing that like made me really sad about that was that they said that they were happy with what they did with war. They labeled the war fixes as like one of the things they were checking off that list of things that they said they do for free, when war still needs so much work done on it just to fix their system, which makes me think, and I'm going to call this right now, the first DLC will be war for Vicky 3. And they're going to probably cave to the Hoi 4 YouTubers and probably make it more controlled, which I think is a really bad thing. But that's, I'm going to call it now. That's what will happen. Your Marshal Ihar Kisa Asanari has come to you with a suggestion. My queen, I have found someone whom I believe would make an excellent military commander. I suggest we make use of their talents for the good of the realm. We have really good commanders, don't we? Yeah, we're fine. We'll put them into our administrative staff and do things that way. We don't really need them. We'll go for a native repression policy because Castor's in charge right now. Let's see if we can colonize the Azores. Oh, sorry, Cape Verde. We can. We're going to send a couple of ships full of traders to establish a trading port in these islands to the south that we have found no one on. Hell yeah. Our first colony. This is a historic moment for House Torres in Sardinia. Do we have loans? We do not. Let's build up more workshops then. It'll be Dipple for sure. I think that's the other option they might do, but I'm gonna call it now. It'll be war. I think that's the second one they might do. I don't think they need to make a new war system. I think it needs to be improved and more functions like tactics and off, of course, tanks, planes, and more weapons. Yeah, it just needs to have more detail. These games are about strategy and management, so they need to give people the tools to conduct war on a macro level in a more detailed manner that doesn't involve you making fucking divisions and being battlefield commanders, right? That's what they need to do. Vicky doesn't need more war control, it needs more traits, rules, etc. Yep. Go to Brazil. Perhaps. Perhaps. I think we'll be looking more east this game, though. Oh no, the heir Castoro breathes heavily. He has been lying in bed for 3 days now and reflecting, and the beads of sweat on his forehead is the fear of his attendant's eye for Castoro's life. He might not be able to make this. He's not bad. He's really not. We're gonna send for a medicus. And fuck. Castoro's died. Damn. He was actually a solid heir, and we're fucking 40. We have to go fuck our absolutely horrible husband again. Oh god. Poor Castoro. Well advised. Nice. That really checks out. Oh, that is not good. Everyone needs to pray to God to give us another son. I'll even take a daughter, fuck. We'll go for superior seamanship and get morale of navies and global engagement width. And we'll also get centralized adjudicades, which will give us autonomy reduction. Instead of paying cash to the nobles, another option is to grant them privileges to collect special revenues. No, we're not going to do that. We have a centralized state for a reason. Yeah, for real though, Traco Nero. God damn. Or we may be in a bit of a bad situation here. Stability 3, manpower, or a dock in Corsica. We'll go for stability 3. We will need it, given we have potentially a succession crisis on our hand here. One of the things I hated the most about EU4, it's a little nitpick, but it's such a big deal, is that your queen or king could only have one child and one heir. We all know that historical rulers had like 50 fucking children, right? But this game acts like leaders only have one child, and when they're dead, it's just like, oh, well, you have no more kids. It's like, no. Most families had like 8 children to choose from, so if one died, they had a lot more, because death was so common in this time period. Most noble families knew they had to have lots of kids so that they didn't have a problem like this, right? And that never got added, which really sucks. Glory to a new house. I'm hearing a lot of disloyalty over there, Curse. Yeah, exactly, Train. We'll make more. No, we took a loan. God damn it. We are in good shape for a war, though. Besides the looming succession crisis, of course. Why can we not make Antolicon our rival? That's so odd. Britain's no longer rival to us, though, so that's... No, they are. Never mind. We've just really been working on improving relations with them. We'll head to the trading fair. They actually own all the coast. Did they take exploration? No. How the hell did they get it then? We'll have to take the islands down off the coastline of Nigeria if we want to go that way. Which we do. We may go a little bit into the Caribbean, but I'm planning for us to go primarily to Asia. Oh my god. Hello. Oh boy. Look who's in the Dominican Republic. Those poor fucking natives, man. Oh god. They're not ready for what's about to hit them. Yeah, they beat us to the Caribbean. I mean, I plan to go east anyway, but goddamn. Y'all ready for Papal Americas? Whew. Port Ifni. We can explore again. Good. Good, good. We will explore the southern Atlantic. I may make an Argentinian colony, though. France wants our maps of the North Atlantic. They're gonna get them from someone else if we don't give them, so we might as well. And we are allied with them, technically. Legally. Yeah, they are in the Americas. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot he coming. Ooh, Iroquois Federation. Big one, too. Hell yeah. I do like the federation system they added for native regions. It is really cool. We'll go for the Atlantic southern coast. We have an heir! All right. We'll name him after his dead brother. Castoro! We're literally gonna become like one of those families like the French or the Swedish where we have like 3 rotating names we use for everyone. That's what this is already beginning to look like. Why don't you name your child something interesting that you've never done before? Listen, I hear you. I do. But listen, what if we call him Castoro the 17th? I'm just saying, it has a nice ring to it, you know? It's a little bit more unique than Castoro the 16th, I'd say. Let's definitely need to do that. We see a comment. God damn it. Bullshit. Kind of hilarious. I don't understand. I could never name, like, if I had a kid, I could never name them, like, Zachary the Second. I couldn't do that. It'd just be weird. It'd just be so weird. I get it's a tradition thing when you're, like, a leader, a king, or a noble house. I guess I get that. But it's so uninventive, and it's so boring. Like, if I had to call my son Zachary the Second, or just, I guess I'd call him the regular name, but never, it'd be on paper and shit. It's just so weird. I don't know. I always found it so strange. And confusing. Like, my gosh. Yeah, the Denmark also did it a lot. A lot of the European families did. They, like, all did. How's Castile looking anyway? Very strong. 140,000 soldiers. 97 ships. And I think one of the biggest economies in the world, if not the biggest. The 3rd biggest income in the world. We're not even on this list. We're way the fuck down here. Oh boy. That's fine. I didn't want us to be in a strong position in EU4, so I'm kind of glad. I like where we're at. I won't shoot us in the leg for no reason, but if we end up getting to the point we're not number 1, fine by me. More interesting that way. At this point, we're really just waiting. Oh, revolt, we'll deal with that. We're really just waiting for Anatolikon or Hyoston to go to war, and then we're gonna start our big conflict with them. But it looks like we may be waiting a while here, unfortunately. Could go after Cyprus or something. Not really. It was the original given name. What do we call him? How about Louis? Damn right. How do they have so much money? They're really developed. That's why. They're extraordinarily developed. Like all of them is, all of them. All of Castile is very developed. Trade disputes. We've got a little bit of a settlement built on the islands down in the south. Good point to trade further with more of the southern regions and get to India. We will take the mercantilism. The Vladimir Horde. Oh my, yeah, so Protestantism's taken almost all of Hungary and Bulgaria now. The rest of Europe has very little. We are holding out for the most part, but there is also reform now appearing in Western Germany. And Western Italy, or Eastern France, I guess. No, we're not going to fight the Papal States. Absolutely not. Well, we just lost our alliance with Hesse. They want us to go to war with the Pope, and we're not going to do that. The alliance with the Pope is way more important than one to a northern German. Overseas exploration. There's always been some discrepancy between the religion actually taught and defended by the clergy and the actual faith of the people in the provinces. Most of the time, the differences are small enough that the clergy chooses to ignore them, to instead focus on reinforcing the more orthodox spiritual ideas of the people. It seems, however, that certain ideas that are quite unorthodox, if rooted in old traditions, have begun to spread together with the Catholic faith among our non-Catholic subjects. The resulting mix of old heathen ideas, particularly superstitions of the actual Catholicism itself, have been quite too much for the clergy to stomach, even as it seems to have conversion a more attractive proposition. We're not religious. If it's beneficial to us, we'd allow it, so it's fine. Let's explore the Caribbean a little bit deeper. Our god-awful husband has died. Solomon is dead. Good. An incompetent, naive enthusiast. We will not mourn him for very long. The malevolent queen we are. Then again, if our son dies, we're kind of fucked too. Would Castora remarry at 44? Probably. You're like no one to marry to, though. Ah! The discovery of the New World has heralded a new era, not only for the colonizers and the colonized, it has also led to the spread of materials and techniques, as well as a realization of the vastness of the globe. Yeah, Asia and India is really big. As animals, crop types, silver, and diseases are spread across the Atlantic, the first steps have been taken towards a truly global economy. With foreign lands and people being mapped and documented, ideas as well as religious and philosophical debate are increasingly being colored by what we have found in overseas societies. Great minds feel the need to question that what was once truth, and from Corsenza to that thing I can't say. The nature of the world is now up for debate. Nice. Did we get colonialism? The fucking Pope got it! Bullshit! Goddamn fucking Pope, man. This goddamn colony in the Caribbean. Bullshit. Listen, we've got islands off the coast of Africa. It's basically the same thing. Fucking bullshit. Yeah, the Pope is very strong this game. Thankfully, we're allies, but... Opposing factions of the military are advocating different tactics. We'll go with siege ability. Now we have the fun colonial waiting game. Ah, they have a new pope. His name is... Did I read that right? Popo the Second. Who's a 113. This literally looks like they just like found the most like unintelligent pope possible. They made fun of him and now the clergy are controlling him. Popo the Second. Is the Pope a player? No, this is a single player. It is role play, but it's a lot lighter. This is the Grand Campaign, which is role play. It's a more kind of like casual kind of role play. And it's a lot harder to role play in fucking EU4 without other players, so. But it is light RP. Casual RP. Literally Popo the second, though. My god. A priest in Cuenca has translated the Bible into our languages and has started to distribute copies to its nearby villages throughout Cuenca. We will burn it. Yeah, we will burn that. Yeah, it is. What's up, Nico? Sounds like a sequel. Yeah, it does. The Cardinals are just naming popes like movie titles at this point. It's gonna be like the Fast and Furious. So Pope Popo the 8th, Ride and Die. Rubaland. Pope wants our maps of Giddy. Like I said, he'll get them anyway, so we might as well. Yet again, the nobles of Sardinia are marrying into Vladimir pagan families, which we're not going to allow. We're denounce their family. Traitors and heathens. Pope Jim Carrey II, pretty much. Pretty much. What's up, Emperor? Grand Campaign? You mean from last summer? The one where Bulldog went like fucking sci-fi Wakanda Bohemia? Yeah, it was an absolute clusterfuck. Most of the RP and most of the game was really good, but there were a few players that couldn't fucking stop themselves from sweating, and they did, and it sucked. Alright, we'll do the North Atlantic. We'll do the rest of the oceans. We'll do the American East Coast next. See what's going on over there. Oh, another federation. The Chiaja Federation and then the Iroquois Federations. Now, the Iroquois are actually just united, I think. Can't tell. Yeah, we got a couple federations. Damn. A lot of soldiers, too. Look at that. Thankfully, we're going east. It's the Pope's problem to deal with. Can the Papal States turn into a republic? I'm sure if they get rebels, it's possible. Highly unlikely, I would guess. Did you decide where you're gonna colonize America? Yeah, Argentina, and that's about it. We're gonna maybe get a couple islands in the Caribbean, and then we're gonna go to Asia. I want us to colonize Asia. Looks like this will be a native North American game. I hope so. That'd be really interesting going into Vicky 3, is actually have like native countries there. In reality, I think the British and the Papal States will not let that happen, but you never know. Britain didn't go colonization. The Church of Britannia. They just went Anglican too. Whoa. But yeah, they didn't go exploration. Did the French? No. Folks, only us and the papacy have gone colonial. Britain, Spain, and France have all not gone colonial with their first two ideas. Goddamn. I'm gonna follow Space Buffer. This is gonna be an interesting colonial world. We may see like the Pope end up controlling like basically what the Spanish did in real life. The Pope may have like all the Americas. That's gonna be crazy. It's silly for England to do that with no brain damage Henry VIII. To be fair though, in CK3 we got like that event with like the Greenland colonization where the King of Britain at the time said that colonization wasn't worth it because they literally in CK3, because I had a mod for it, had a colony in Greenland with like a struggle mechanic thing, and they decided to like pull back. So it makes sense. Britain did kind of say no, the colonial game is not worthwhile enough, we're not going to do it. They'll probably figure out it's really profitable in 50 years and then be really late to the game, but that's fine by us. Okay, it's Sumander. How far did the last Grand Campaign go? I think it got to the 1600s. I think it got to the 1300s or something like that. We got really far. We did go really deep with it. Go with the burgers if we can. Never mind, we're not doing that. We'll go with, I guess, the nobility, maybe? Yeah, manpower in Corsica. Yorubaland announced us as their rival. Very well. We will do so as well. Still not going to war. Careless turn of phrase by Queen Castora has greatly offended the Castilian Empress. They have an Empress now? Yeah. Fatima Torchitor Guadiato. She's a 623. A lawgiver, a freethinker, and a sinner. Of course they're fucking heathens. Fatima. That sounds pretty heathen, if you ask me. We need to start spreading rumors in Europe that Castilla is basically like a Muslim country in disguise. And that their royal family are really Muslims. We'll do the South Atlantic. Colombian exchange. We can see Japan now. Oh, we can see Asia. Hell yeah. Japan is really centralized. The Hosokawa in the south, and then the Usugai in the north. They're really evenly split too. Look at that. Hosokawa has a bigger army and a smaller navy, and Usugai have a smaller army and a bigger navy. Korea is fucking scary too. The Ming surrounded by Mongols. Oh, right. I did add that. And the Ming also own the Spice Islands now. God damn. India is very centralized too, especially in the south. Tamil. This is a very busy Asia. I like how lawgiver and freethinker is a sinner. Yeah, true. Did they go exploration? They did. Oh my god, it's a colonial Ming. It's actually a colonial Ming. Whoo, boy. It seems that the Ming are not going isolationist in this timeline. They're going hyper-expansionist. Economic exploration. Yeah, California might be Ming. We can't see it yet, though. Japan went exploration? Both of them? Hosokawa went it as their first idea group. So did the Usugai. Do they? I bet they have all the islands now. Yeah, that's Usugai for sure. Oh my god, they're in the Philippines. We're going to Asia. I'm doubling down. We are going to go to Asia. It's just going to be spicy as hell. My god. We're going to have to contend the Ming and two Japans in Asia to colonize. It'll be interesting, though. Oh, boy. This has turned into such a wild game, though. We are very alt history. Yeah. What's the best place in Asia to start colonizing? I'm actually not sure about that. Maybe Korea? Modern China and Vicky 3. Yeah, they'll be terrifying. They will be actually terrifying. This is still a strong Europe in this game, but it's not like in our own reality when Europe was just so much more dominant. It really isn't. Britannia and France is chilling in Europe while the Pope, China, and Japan are colonizing. Yes. Yeah, Japan and Korea. I figured. We may have to step our game up here a little bit. We need to explore south. I think a War of Yorubaland might be the next good play here. To take their southern coastline. And we'll have to probably get the Pope to help us. Because they have a lot of soldiers. We'd have to fight 150,000 people in West Africa to win that, though. I don't know if that's something we'd want to do. We might want to just jump to the Congo, honestly. How did the Papal Maghreb happen? Just religious war and religious war. We called them in a bunch to help us fight the Sajadeeds, and then they actually in CK3 had Libya, so they just kept going south. We'll take the church tax. We have our first ability of the Age of Renaissance. Oh my gosh, a lot of events here. We'll take idea cost reduction, polymath. The lookout has reported signs of dwellings, but the ship has yet to see any natives until a long last, a colonial village in Managua has been sighted. A small force disembarked and was hospitably received. Something that was attributed to the natives' fascination with the men who were taller in stature than them and bearded. Goddamn right. The natives were beardless. Ha! Ha! And with some difficulty, they managed to communicate that their myths and legends foretold of a time when the bearded gods would come from the sea to visit them. Food and gold were given, which indicates that the province is prosperous and would be of great value to us. Ah, fuck. Colonialism. We'll take one of these colonial ones, I think, here. Higher developed provinces or early colonial interest? We'll go with early colonial interest because we do have an early colonial interest, so that makes sense. How's the Empire of China looking? Thick. Oh my god, look at all their tributaries. Malacca's a tributary. We're gonna really struggle in Asia, I'm gonna be honest. Literally all of this is all their tributaries right now. That's crazy. They're allied with Vladimir? Oh, fuck. All right, we might need to rethink Asia. We might have to rethink this. That's a little sketchy, I'm gonna be honest. Oh boy. Yeah, it is a female leader of Vladimir, isn't it? All the female rulers, I'm not sure. I didn't like change settings or anything. It's just happening. God damn. Allying with the Mongols isn't a horrible idea? Oh, is Korea independent? They are. Alright, hear me out. If we ally the Koreans and the Mongols, and we help them to attack the Ming, and we build up Hellas and Anatolia, we'll have to fight like mega almost bordering on world wars to take Asia, but it would be fun. It will be very hard though. We have to get Hellas big so they can help us with Vladimir. And then we need to get Korea or the Mongols on our side. And if we do that, it is theoretically doable. We could still colonize Asia. But my god, the fight we'd have to have there. Compared to the Americas where we could walk in. Alright. We are going to colonize South America. We need to. We will colonize South America. I'm not going to go in the Caribbean and North America, though. I do want to leave those alone. But we will colonize South America. Just so we have one place we can build colonies where we're not just going to get, you know, curb stomped by a mega empire. Goddamn. Goddamn. That is a terrifying alliance, though. It seems that China is also not resistant to the appeal of thick Mongol warrior women of Vladimir. All of Europe is enthralled with them, and it seems Asia is no different. All right, explore the Caribbean. We'll do the North Atlantic. There's a United Nation there. The Kosakoya, who are Aztec. The Aztecs completely blew up. They had, I think, that end of the world event or something that they get. All right, when we're done here, I'm going to establish a colony in the coastline that we found on that continent in Asia. And then I'll try and colonize down here as well. That's where we're going to go. Because we're trying to find a route to Asia. That's our main goal right now. So we'll follow both directions. Yeah, I united the Aztecs in the beginning of EU4, but they blew up, it looks like. Fuck, I wasn't training them. And then we will explore the South Atlantic. Who the fuck is Hellas at war with? They're in the war! You gotta call me! Why can't we join this fucking war? Fuck, man. Do we still have a... No, we don't have a treaty. Why can't we join their war? Need to be able to declare war on the target. Because the war is with Philopolis, not with Hellas. Ah. Hellas of anyone to ally, why the fuck did you choose them? Yeah, yep. The Pope has 3,000 ducats of debt. What the fuck have they been doing? Yeah, I think they are dead. Oof. Professional officers. Go Landsknecht. It's not even more rough here. Oh my god, Anatolikon is conquering in Crimea as well. We could pursue the unthinkable, but there's no way we could be allied with them and the Pope. Yeah, Greek and Turk, definitely. They would be more reminiscent of the Ottomans. I mean, this is kind of like our version of the Ottomans for sure. Just more Greek than they were. I'm just trying to think about how to deal with all this. Like, this is... We're not in a good position. There's no one who can tend them either. I mean, besides the Gassirids. No, we We just have to wait. We're gonna have to go colonial. That's really all we have left to us at this point. Take the Fatmids. Now that's not a bad idea, actually. That's an interesting proposal. I've been so hyperfixated on the Anatolian region, I hadn't even really started to think about that. No, they're allied with the Gassirids, though. That's not doable. The Gassirids have 140,000 soldiers. So to fight the Fatmids, we'd have to fight 200,000 men. That's worse than Anatolikon. That's why no one's attacking them. And that's why there's a Cold War and like no one's fighting in the Middle East. That is so bad. We just don't have options right now to expand besides colonial. That's really it. Well, there is one place we can expand. No, never mind. 180,000 soldiers. How are the fleets looking? We're well behind now. We just can't sustain a large one. Our quality is way higher, but we have 16. Britannia has 24. Ming have 20 more. Castile has 27. And Tamil has 28. Until we build a bigger economy, we won't be getting more either. We got all of it on colonial. That's our only way out right now. Or we will be relegated to a second-hand power here. Poor Castora. She is having a rough reign. Why is it all the female rulers we have the toughest fucking time? Like, all the bad stuff happens when they're in power. We only have 5 cardinals? No, we have 7. Okay. Land of opportunity. One of our colonial ventures has run into serious financial trouble. If no action is taken, the colonists will suffer. We'll build them out. You need to take drastic steps to kill the Pope. They're a burden at this point. It doesn't make sense, though. She's not religious, but she's also not, like, cynical, so there's no way we'd fight the Pope. And RP-wise, like, fighting the Pope would get a lot of Europe to fight us, so there's no way we can do that. We're kind of stuck with them as an ally. The French have a queen, too? Yeah, they do. Oh my god, is everyone a queen? Castilla has an empress. France has a queen. Britain's got a male leader. The Thuringia has a duchess. Adelheid. Oh my god! Hesse has a queen. Alright, Anatolikon has a king. Vladimir has a Grand Khania, a female Khan. Ming has an emperor. Yeah, there are a lot of female rulers in this game, that's for sure. You almost suggested Salic law is a good idea? I would never. Whoa. The Italian peninsula of the Middle Ages was divided between the fragmented north, split into numerous fiefs and city-states under the nominal sovereignty of the Holy Roman Emperor. The kingdoms of Sicily and Naples in the south, and the papal state that had jurisdiction over parts of central Italy. The 14th century was a period of consolidation for the bigger powers of Italy, especially Milan, Venice, Florence, and the Pope, who expanded their dominions over the smaller cities. The friction that arose from these expansions continued into the next century and culminated with the Lombard Wars between Milan and Venice. Oh, yeah, those are rough. Following the signing of the Peace of Lodi in 1454, a balance emerged between the 5 regional powers: the Duchy of Milan, the Republic of Venice, the Papal State, the Kingdom of Naples, and the Republic of Florence. A mutual defense pact, the Italian League, was formed between them, and the 4 decades that followed were characterized by diplomatic and military balance, overseen by Lorenzo de' Medici. Conflicts were kept small and regionalized, while the Renaissance was flourishing in the Italian centers of culture. This balance has, however, been broken in the last decade of the century, following the death of the Florentine statesman. The spark of the First Italian War was the dynastic succession of the Duchy of Milan, which is owned by the Pope in our timeline. The many wars that shaped Italian peninsula from 1494 on saw the introduction of many significant advances in military technology and tactics, including field artillery, muskets, and combined tactics. Musketeers sounds interesting. Pope Popo II. Yeah, so apparently there was Pope Popo I. I don't remember him, though. He's a free thinker. It's an odd time to be a free thinker. The age of feminism. The infantry saw profound evolutions during the Italian wars, transforming from a predominantly armed force with pikes and halberds to a more flexible arrangement of arquebusiers, pikemen, and other specialties. With the first part of the wars saw the prevalence of the Swiss mercenaries and lansquenets. Groups with firearms established themselves from the 16th century onwards. In 1503, a skirmish between French and Spanish forces represented the first demonstration of the usefulness of arquebuses in battle. The Spanish general Gonzalo de Cordoba feigned a retreat, attracting a contingent of men-at-arms between two groups of his arquebusiers. As the French army found themselves among the shooters, volleys of bullets hit them hard in both flanks. Before the French could attack the vulnerable arquebusiers, the French cavalry charge broke the French forces and forced them to retreat. While the French army was en route, the Spanish enemies inflicted heavy losses on them. The success of the use of firearms in the Italian wars led Niccolo Machiavelli, often described as the enemy of the use of arquebuses. Dude, Machiavelli's take on military tactics was the dumbest shit ever. He wrote several books. He's famous for The Prince, which is a masterwork of diplomacy and state-like management. It's an amazing book. If you haven't read it, read it. His other books, or pamphlets, whatever the fuck he called them, were fucking atrocious. There was one he wrote. It was called On War, like the Sun Tzu one. It wasn't named after the Sun Tzu one. I don't know if you even knew about the Sun Tzu one, but he called it On War, and it was basically a treatise on how to run like a military, primarily as a city-state. But he used it as an argument more broadly for states in general. He had the worst fucking takes ever in there. Really, the majority of it was arguing that most countries and cities shouldn't have a centralized military and they should use mercenaries because they're more loyal. Yeah, you heard me right. He thought that they were more loyal. That was a real take by Machiavelli. That man was a master diplomat and statesman. He needed to stay the fuck away from military shit, so they're roasting him for good reason. His military takes were just ungodly bad. Like, I mean ungodly bad. Which made sense because in real life he did actually come to have a lot of political power. And take a wild guess that resulted in Machiavelli's statesman and career as a leader kind of go badly. Can you take a guess what it was? Mercenaries and poor rule. Because you'll never believe this, the mercenaries he had in his command fucking abandoned him when things got bad. Shocking, I know. Anyway, he's an amazing, interesting historical figure, one of my favorite people in history, but my god, his military mind was not there. He would have had a 0 as like a ruler in EU4 for military. To write in his treatise, oh, there it is. On the acts of war that all citizens of the city should know how to shoot with a pistol. Yeah, that too. Yeah, so he wasn't particularly talented militarily. It's kind of ridiculous. The prince, he said the opposite about mercenaries, which is probably a result of his experience there. Yeah, that probably was. Yeah, he's a very interesting guy. The Prince is such a good book, though. Rodolfo Bencompagni Ludovisi. Spending habits have raised some eyebrows. He has been spending large amounts of money, far larger than the one of his position should have access to, distributing gifts to the local burghers in his home region and improving the local infrastructure. Well, that part's not bad. An investigation has revealed the facts. Rather than serving the queen to the best of his abilities, Rodolfo, a name I don't want to say again, has been funneling state funds to Kabylia in order to boost his popularity there. Well, this has been a boon to the local economy, such practices would prove damaging to the state as a whole. Yeah, you're gonna go to prison for that, bud. Modern standards, absolutely. Yep. It's funny, because a lot of history is just literally full of, people who were at the time considered radical reformers who we now see as disgusting and, you know, just pigs, right? That's how it is. Cultural evolution took a long time. I get DMs about here. Okay. Spicy. Okay. We need a new ambassador. We'll take the diplomatic reputation. No, never mind. He's a goddamn heathen. Castora wouldn't really care, though. We'll hire him anyway. We lost a general. Hopefully it was one of our... No, it was a good one. God damn it. Let's get a name I can actually pronounce here. Barcelo di Pisani. I can say that. And he's incompetent. Beautiful. Since the Christian world is dying, maybe it's time to look to Islam. Is there a goddamn heretic in the chat right now? Curse? You're sounding dangerously heretical there. I think you need to send a couple months in an oblate for that. You know, you might rethink your take there. We're gonna lower you down into oblate, and we'll pick you up later when you start talking about your love of Christ again. All right, Capo Verde is about to finish. I named his kids Alfred and Oscar after my sons, and I saw AI having kids names Oscar. Hell yeah. Do you CK3, Vicky 3, and Hoi 4 MPs planned? In the future, yes. I will be mostly just doing Vicky 3 MPs for now. I've been... I can rant about my process for a minute, if you'd like. I'm switching up how I do a lot of things. I've kind of done it over the last month or two. I'm not streaming as much anymore. I have no plans to really stop low amounts of streaming. I will be starting this Friday to stream RimWorld games on Fridays. I don't think I'll make videos for them. It'll just be for fun, because I'm also GCing that game. But for right now, I'm focused on making good quality YouTube videos. If any of y'all have seen my YouTube videos, I've been putting a lot of work into them. They've been, the time I take to make them and the amount of effort I put into them now is very, very, very high. It takes a long time to make those. So, like, I just don't have time to play in more multiplayer games at present without... I can play them and then not make videos out of them, but I'd rather just, like, put more time into making videos. So, because I actually like doing YouTube a lot more right now. So I will do them in the future, but for now, it's just going to be probably Vicky 3. I'll take on more multiplayer games in the future, but I want to get my YouTube channel a little bit bigger first, so I'm just kind of grinding it out right now. Because I'm also working on tutorials, which I've been promising forever for Vicky 3, but I scrapped a bunch of them because I learned, like, how to use After Effects, so I decided I want to do them better. So I've been working on that. And then there's my shitpost videos on Paradox that I've actually started to work on properly. So I'll do more multiplayer games in the future. Yeah, I know, there's a lot. There's been a lot today, but I will do more multiplayer games. It will be a while. I want to work a lot on YouTube and get that in a better place before I start to do more. Because the sad reality is I love doing roleplay games more than anything else, but like I'm also trying to kind of go somewhere with my YouTube channel. If I'm gonna be honest, I've been grinding that out because I do think I could do well in there if I put the work in, which I've been doing. So my priorities for that need to be more stuff that does well, which I hate to do, but it's what's needed, right? I'd like to just make lots of like roleplay videos and do lots of roleplay streams and just do that. They don't do very well, right? They don't do very well. All of us really like doing it. I love doing it, but most people don't. It's kind of like, it's a thing most people don't know that they want until they see it, and especially on YouTube, roleplay is not a huge thing. So I'm working more on videos that do well, to answer your question. So yes, in the future, but for now, I'm gonna do the things that will actually do well. Because I don't know, the thing I don't love doing, but it's necessary. At least how I see it. In the future, Distant Worlds 2. I've seen the trailer for it. I'm really excited for Homeworld 3 Ninja, if you know that one. What's the culture of Anatolicon? It's a good question. Culture on here? It is Anatolian and Greek. So they are still Greek Anatolian primarily. They've just got, I'm sure, a lot of like Mongolian ethnic people who have obviously been integrated into local culture and religion. Because if you remember, Mongolia did briefly, and the Ilkhanate was Orthodox, right? The Ilkhanate, before it collapsed, was Orthodox. So they definitely adapted to local traditions, which is what a lot of the Mongolian successor states actually did, right? That was a very common thing in our own history, which is why a lot of Mongolian, you know, heirs and branch-off families ruled for a very long time, not because they were particularly competent, but because they actually embraced local customs. All right, did we get Capo Verde? We did. We have our first formal colony off the coast of Western Africa. And with that, we are going to go ahead and, there it is. Oh, can we not reach there? God damn it. We will colonize in Alagos. We know very well that there's good tracts of farmable land and useful materials in the region, so we're gonna set up another trading base there. We lost our explorer, Solomon Toparelli. Another really good explorer, a 6326. No, sorry, a 5326. I wish that was a maneuver, but not bad. At all. Hordes would invade and take over and convert to the place they conquered. Exactly, yeah. What if they can reform Byzantium? I wanted Hellas to do it, but they might end up doing it. We'll see. I think they need the other islands. Hellas is also still alive. But they're now in a war with Vladimir. Yep. Hellas has chosen the worst possible allies in the east. Like, it's kind of crazy. Fucking hell. Hold off. Hellas borders right now looks like Byzantium in its final years. Yep, they absolutely do. And Castora has died. Damn, I really did like her. She was fun. Castora is dead. We now have Castoro de Torres, who is 9 years old, with a advisor who is unrelated to him. Eugenia Serlupi is currently in power. She's with the Burghers? Yes, a Burgher regency for Castoro III. Damn. He's only 9. She wasn't that old, too. Castoro was not that old. God damn. Yeah, with a regent. Alright, we're just chilling then. We wouldn't do anything dramatic till he comes of age and we know what he's like. If you click on the Ming stuff, yes. They've completely reformed. That's a scary Ming. They've taken every single one of the reforms. Wow. She was 57. Oh, okay. She was older than I thought then. She lived a good long life and she didn't, in many ways she didn't do well. She was a very good, tough ruler, but she just was dealt a very hard hand in terms of what she had to deal with in her life. Much like Cipriana. Yeah, Ming is very overpowered this game. They're terrifying. The clergy have long objected to the use of heathens in high positions. With Shaban Hayes has been a statesman they objected to loudly, and their objections have not grown any less adamant over time. Some leading religious scholars, both at home and abroad, are now denouncing the kingdom for its blatant favoritism of non-Christian officials. We'll let him go. Our regent would be in no place to disagree with the powers that be, so we'll just go with whatever they want here, really. Looks like there will be no century of humiliation. How fast do you think I can install Arch and set up a dual booting on my laptop? Fuck if I know, Schlob. No idea. Yeah, the region would definitely focus on trade. Absolutely. So we'll put a burger in power. Barsone Pella Vicini. Burger loyalty equilibrium. We're gonna put one of their good old boys in power. They're just taking over the country right now. Our brilliant Castilla inventor from Castilla has come to seek our patronage while falling out with the Empire. Idris Zirid has been described as one of the great minds of his age, producing many mechanical inventions beyond the understanding of others. Sure. But fuck them Spanish. We'll do what the burgers want here as well. Assuming it's reasonable. All colonized regions in the Cap Verde area. What do we... Are there other regions? Arguin. I am not going to colonize fucking Arguin. Fuck that. We'll build a church in Ifni. That's more reasonable. West African Sea. We can see almost all the Caribbean now. Our royal marriage to Hellas has ended. We're gonna marry we're gonna betroth our current ruler, our heir, to the Hellas family. Don't look at their leader too hard. Wait, is that our dynasty? It's not? No, it is. Torshitaru Megara. The Torshitaru family is part of our dynasty. They're just a very distant branch. It'd be interesting if you lose the islands and become a purely African power. That would be pretty crazy, Commander. My gosh. Then we would become literally Carthage. What could have been Castora's nickname? The Unfortunate, perhaps? I think that'd make a lot of sense, Draconora. Because everyone in Sardinia would know she was competent and a very good ruler, but, like, just tragedy after tragedy befell her, despite good rule, you know? Spain? What you doing? Oh, no. We still have our alliances, right? We do. Oh boy. Oh boy. "26 heavy ships, just a reminder. The French didn't join? We were betrayed? Oh, we're gonna remember that. They actually abandoned us. Oh, wow. We are actually in a very bad position now. House Torres, we saved them. And look how they have repaid us. Unbelievable. We're gonna come for that French fucking ass one day. Alright. Well, I am going to go balls to the wall here. Okay. Fuck, our army's stuck across the ocean. They're all stuck in fucking Crete, man. Okay, let me think here. We're gonna lose Spain proper. That land we will not be able to hold. We're not gonna even bother. We need to get our navy built up. With our galleys, we can fight them in the Mediterranean, especially alongside the Pope's fleet, which is very powerful. We need to link up with the Pope's fleet, wait for the galley reinforcements, move all our troops to North Africa and hold them at the crossing. Take that, and if we can hold them there and win the Mediterranean, we can attrition them if we get the naval victory here. So that's what we need to do. Wait for the mothball. We have kind of control of the Med. I'm going to try and rush our troops across. This is dangerous, but we have to do this. You are mothballed, sir. Where the fuck are you going? This is very bad. All our ships are at no durability. Oh, fuck. We're going to lose heavy ships. I'm retreating it. We can't afford to lose ships right now. The monkey fucking AI decided to send our fucking main fleet instead of our transports. You need to go the fuck to port. Really? We're gonna lose all our trading ships. That's bad. This might be where we collapse. I'm gonna be honest. We may end up having to run to the Americas. Watch as we become like House Torres controlled Sardinia and Brazil or something and go hide. We may have to. Unironically, this is gonna get real bad here. Burger loans, good call. They're in control right now, so. Okay, we have some money to work with. I mean, yeah, the burgers literally like own our government right now, so it makes sense that they would want to try and keep things sustained. If we get out of this war successful, the burgers like own fucking Sardinia though, unironically. Our kings will be so indebted to them from here on out. We got to figure out a way to get these heavy ships back over too, and break that fucking blockade. All 26 of their heavy ships are there. Where's the Pope's fleet? Right there. He has 10, we have 13, that gives us 23. If I bring back my reinforcements, we could win that. We'll wait for the galleys, though. I just need a way to get the AI not to be, like, fucking dumb and actually support us if we fight. And I don't trust them to do that. We're losing North Africa now, too. We lost all our transport ships, apparently. They destroyed them all. We have no way to move out these troops. This is fucking bad. Like, this is bad. We're gonna probably have to cede most to Spain in this war, if not all of it. I want to get a discipline or morale advisor. Yeah, we have nothing. We'll win or lose this navally. Like, that's the deal here. We have a very good admiral, at least. Like, our admiral is way better than theirs. Go into denial works for me. Like, we're not gonna win this war. What we need to do is reduce our loss such that we don't cede too much. We're gonna take that galley combat ability, which will put us up to 50. Okay. We're about to get all these extra galleys. I want to see if I can get the Pope's navy to latch onto one of our fleets here. If we can get them to do what we need to, we got a shot. Oh, we had that army in the east. Actually, I completely forgot about that. West. Never mind. It's already won? God damn. Yeah, we only have another 40 minutes before we gotta go for Vicky 3. Alright. See if the Pope will bring his navy. They're over here. What the? Where is the Pope at? Oh, they're sieging out Italy. Good. That we are gonna get victories there at least. Lombardy did join the war with us. They did remain loyal. That's gonna be big. I need to get our link. We're gonna have to do a. We're gonna have to do a dangerous action here. Here come the rebels. I'm gonna break through. That's what we're gonna do here. I'm gonna send my galleys and those 3 ships. We'll get a breakthrough back into port here. And then we'll be able to hopefully, one or two things will happen. No, 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 no. They just got us stuck here. Fuck. Where's the goddamn Pope at? Come on. Pope! Pope, please! Come on! Come on! Where's he going? Is he going? He's coming! Go, go, go! All in! Ooh, fuck. Okay, we're gonna get 2 naval actions at once. Our fleet is breaking through of our admiral in the west. We'll give him galleys for support, and we need to win this battle. This is it, folks. They got away with all their heavy ships, but we destroyed everything else. He got level-headed. Good. Good, 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 good. All right, we got to go on a rampage here. We should win that action in the west, too. Big? Fucking big? Oh, fuck. We're going to hold out there. We got to get our fleet over there now. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Woo! No, we lost it. Fuck! We've got the Pope's fleet with us. Another big one. Big. They retreated again. We've got the strait. We got the strait. Let's repair. Oh man. All right, we've won navally so far. Can you imagine if we didn't have naval ideas right now? All right, let's consolidate our position. And let's start to win the war in North Africa. God damn it. The Pope's literally taking advantage of this, isn't he? No, never mind, this is something else. The Pope has invited us to attend the Council of Trent to debate the required reforms to remedy the corruption and other afflictions of the Church. The Council will discuss what constitutes Protestant heresy and consider the definition of church teachings in the areas of scripture and tradition, original sin, justification, sacraments, and the Eucharist of Holy Mass and the veneration of saints. It will also try to answer Protestant disputes by concerning curbs and practices that have become a stain on the Church's reputation. For instance, the frequent absenteeism of bishops and various worldly excesses of the clergy. Wow, we're reforming the Catholic faith right now, or they are. Yeah, the counter-reformation's begun. In the middle of this fucking war, too. Yeah, we are. We are absolutely a puppet of the Pope and the burghers now. The burghers first and foremost, but very much so also the Pope. All right, we got to get there, and we got to get there fucking now. We need a good... We're not going to get that tech in this fucking... at this point, so... All right, we need to find some good generals here. Go, go, go. They're just pouring across now, aren't they? You need to go the fuck to port. That's what you need to do. We did win that battle. Close, though. And they're sitting in reinforcements. They're sitting in a lot of reinforcements. Okay, we need transport ships at this point. We have 3. That'll take a while. We can't win on land if the Pope doesn't send forces. He is winning in North Italy, though. This is huge right now. We just need to delay them in Africa. That's all we can do. The longer we delay, the higher the chances are that we actually win this war. Let's get our reinforcements across here as well. Survive. It's literally, you know that ending scene of fucking like Halo Reach, you remember? When you get the survive fucking pop up and you just have to keep killing until you're dead? That's what this is. Morale of armies boost. Can we get we can. Let's take, where is it? Proclaim Holy War. Ooh. We'll go conciliatory because we got the burghers in power and we're in the influence of the Pope, so we'll do what he wants. So we will go with them. They're still trying to fuck women in Vladimir. I mean, we can't bitch about it, so we'll let them do what they want. The eyes are not here. There are no eyes here. In this empty valley, voices die faster than nightfall. It's darkness impossible to escape because there is no desire to escape. The succession of days is impossible to count. Every day is the next and the previous, their fate tightly fitted like a diamond in a pendant. And so the bird songs return one day, and it is a normal day, except for the birds. What the fuck is this about? I'm all for descriptive writing, but get to the point. And their voices, and the fact it does not feel like any other day. And then there's a child, a small child, a normal child. What the fuck is this event? You could hear the sound of whoever wrote this jerking off to their own ability to write descriptive language. My god. Alright, we'll go for expand Sardinia. We'll get that. We've hired mercenaries. The Pope is now in Provence. Oh, God. Look at those armies, though. We have to start pushing. They just have so many men. 180,000. If France had entered this war, we actually would have won quite handily. Like, we would have really won. We need to get another naval battle here, and then we need to start to blockade the Spanish. Let's wait for them to fully heal. Who's in this war? Tuscany is in the war. Fuck it. Oh no, that's the Pope getting it. We don't want that. We're gonna make them into a vassal for ourselves is what we'll do. Let's at least get something out of this war. Let's go ahead and get the Pillars of Hercules. After I remove a couple of these ships, which are really not needing to be in here. Naval battle. Oh, here comes the big fleet. We actually pulled it out of port. Oh, chase it down. Pope, where's your fucking navy? You son of a bitch. Where the fuck's your... Where'd they go? Am I blind? Oh, they're with us. Okay. Go, go, go. Big naval battle. Bud, what you doing? Oh, boy. They ran, but that was a little rough. All right, we'll take the forts here, and then we gotta start pushing. Our first goal is to take the castle in Ceuta to cut them off so they can't cross back home, and then we can slaughter their armies in North Africa. Oh my god. I am in a death war here. Not in the meta sense, but in the broader sense. We have to win. They are still winning in northern Italy-ish. They're getting pushed back too. Even if we walk out of this with like a white piece, this is gonna just be disastrous. I don't know even who we can ally with at this point. Like, Britain. That's who we're gonna have to try and get an alliance with. But they're fucking Anglicans. Christianity has fallen off so goddamn hard, it's kind of crazy. We were so dominant for a while, too. Part of it is we have no artillery, because I forgot that artillery is relevant now. That doesn't help. Did we lose the whole colony? No. Big naval battle? Go. Come on, come on, get there. Ah, they're running again. Yeah, I think that we definitely may need to go to Brazil. We're going to turn into Portugal here and lose all our mainland holdings and have to go running. You just have so many countries in this war. We're about to run out of money, too. I know I'm coping, but I do think there is a path to victory here if we start to play our cards right. That's big. We're just going to go straight for the northern coastline, and we're going to try and cut them off here. Castille is coming to age during literally this war. Oh. All of our kings do that. They always come of age in the middle of like a giant, like cataclysmic crisis death war every time. Can we ask him to declare a holy war? It's the Pope. Pope is the Pope. Checks out. Can we ask for... We can ask for, say, I want soldiers. Yep. They'll give us soldiers at least. If we get this siege quick, we're in business. Because all these soldiers that we can... Oh. Are they going to win that? They're going to win that. All these soldiers we kill here, we're just going to be able to slaughter. Bribes becoming more accepted? Oh boy, the burgers really have taken over. Or exhaustible blockades? Yes, but we gotta kill the Spanish main first. Until we do that, we're fucked. Here they come. Maybe. What are they doing? They got a lot of soldiers over there. We're just gonna concentrate forces right here. This is the make or break moment for the war. Oh, Lottie coming. They're gonna kill that little stack. Fuck. Here's their navy. The Pope's right on standby, though. Withholding the tithe. Sardinia Corsica is facing dire financial times. Their advisors are desperately seeking a new method of raising funds to prevent economic collapse. One particularly tempting proposition is to withhold tithes from the church and siphon the money into the national treasury through increased taxation. It would piss off the clergy. They're fighting this war for us. We can't do that. As much as I would like to, and I would like to. A lot he coming. Big battle. Did we get that advisor? I am gonna have to start to take actual loans here. Morale of armies. We're gonna lose? Oh, it's so close. Oh. That was big. Not the good kind. Alright. Let's see what they want. After a battle like that, let's see what they want. I'm not giving them Majorca. That's a heavy price here. RP-wise, we're gonna peace. There's no way that our current government would keep this war going. As much as I would like to meta-death war them to the end, this is realistically what would happen here. So we will do it. Fuck. Oh. Things are not going well for us, are they? My gosh. And with that, a peace treaty is signed with King Castora, who's coming of age literally in days. He's literally about to come of age. The burghers, the Pope, have sold off our country to the Spanish. And with it, we've lost massive holdings in Spain. We have a tiny little beast left with Valencia. That's about it. Our country is in 2,500 ducats of debt. Let's get rid of our mercenaries. Our military has been soundly defeated, though on sea yet again we just could not lose. Our navy was triumphant constantly. We can't sustain it actually as well. We're gonna have to. Goddamn boy, we're gonna have to cut down our military. Go mothball the rest of it. Debase currency, we might have to, yeah. Then again, the corruption will be ridiculous, and we can't maintain those costs. The House of Savelli. With the union of Castor III and Sia, we have gained not only a spouse, but also a new ally in our realm. The Savelli is an old and influential family in the seat of Cagliari, which is already within our borders. And he's come of age, Castor III, a 3-4-2. And he already has a son, I don't know how, Lysandro, who's a 1-3-2. He's well advised. Probably those advisors who made him take peace with the Spaniards. And with that, I think this is a very good place to stop today. We technically could go another 20 minutes. But I'm going to chill out a bit before Vicky 3. And I also think this is just generally a good place to stop because, my God, I need to do some mental recovery from that big L we just took. I don't know about y'all, but I need to take a minute and try and figure out what the fuck we're going to do. Because we have no allies besides the Pope and Lombardy, who, they're not weak, but they're not strong enough. Europe is full of superpowers. The French have betrayed us. They're wanting to work together again, but we will never work with the French again. So I think next time we're going to work on trying to get an alliance with the British. We're going to work on just massively focusing on colonies and trying to stay out of European politics. and we're gonna try and rebuild our realm and pay off our 2,500 debt. Which is so bad. So, all right, I will be back in around 30 minutes for some Vicky 3 RP. It's our second session of Victoria 3 Spain today, which we're in a little bit of a better position in. Not a lot, but we're in a better spot there. So, all right, guys. Hope you are enjoying the Grand Campaign. We're going through rough times, but at the end of every dark tunnel, there is a light. And that light is us moving our entire country to Brazil. So, all right, I'll see you guys in a little while.